Thank you for visiting ChristopherMedia.net.
It's the divisional round, and you can follow all the action at BetOnline.net. On Saturday, LA visits the frozen tundra of Green Bay, while Baltimore and Buffalo face off with their electric third-year quarterbacks. On Sunday, and after winning their first playoff game in 26 years, Cleveland meets last year's champs. In the late game, two legendary future Hall of Fame QBs square off as Tampa visits the Big Easy. Check out all the action this week at BetOnline.net as teams take one step closer to the championship. Always available online or your mobile device. Visit BetOnline.net today. Bring the game home at BetOnline.net. It's the divisional round, and you can follow all the action at BetOnline.net. On Saturday, LA visits the frozen tundra of Green Bay, while Baltimore and Buffalo face off with their electric third-year quarterbacks. On Sunday, and after winning their first playoff game in 26 years, Cleveland meets last year's champs. In the late game, two legendary future Hall of Fame QBs square off as Tampa visits the Big Easy. Check out all the action this week at BetOnline.net as teams take one step closer to the championship. Always available online or your mobile device. Visit BetOnline.net today. Bring the game home at BetOnline.net.
Thank you for visiting ChristopherMedia.net.
Welcome to Sporgy, the show that gives you half-ass sports fans giving their half-ass opinions.
And now, here are your hosts.
It's number 144. I'm Chris.
I'm Rich.
I'm the Iceman.
Week 1, NFL, in the books. We'll get to that. But for now, it's a continuing saga of Antonio Brown, which some heavy shit hit today. We'll get to that later. But first, we got to catch up with the whole saga. Like, we recorded last Wednesday, and something happened every single fucking day after we recorded with this. So when we recorded, I'm trying to look at the show notes. Where exactly were we in the saga? So I think it was the day before he got in the...
There was no saga.
Yeah, because the day we put the show out, he gets in an argument with Mike Mayock. Calls him a cracker, allegedly.
Threatens to kick his ass.
Which, by the way, I like Bill Burr's take on it. He said the owner should have been like, this is the kind of passion I'm looking for in the locker room. But, so it does, and then there's, the tearful apology on Friday with the team captain standing by him. Then all that shit on Friday night with the phone call and then the Instagram post Saturday morning asking to be released. And he gets released, and then he's with the Patriots in like 3 hours. So,
well, I mean,
know it's a cliche. A lot to unpack there, guys.
Well, first let's... Okay, so he gets into it with the GM. Seems to me that, and with everything that John Gruden did with the press, we're forgetting the phone call he recorded to Gruden and put the video out of. Forgetting that.
Gruden said he liked. Which I thought I mentioned it. But yeah, Gruden said what did he say? He thought it was funny? Or he thought it was awesome? But by the way, is there anything John Gruden doesn't like? He says he likes everything.
Well, first of all, this situation is the worst case of good cop, bad cop I've ever seen a football team in a front office play, or a head coach in a front office play. It's pretty obvious that Gruden was told to play the good cop and to just, no matter what, keep heaping praise upon Antonio Brown, so they don't end up with a Steve Mariucci, Terrell Owens type situation. Because on the NFL Network, Steve Mariucci was talking. He's like, I know a lot of people are giving Gruden crap for how he's handling this situation, but he has to deal with him as a player, as being the coach every single day. You don't have to talk to the general manager every single day. So if you think the general manager's got a hard on for you, but the head coach is in your corner, you're going to get a lot farther with that player than what they did with Terrell Owens when he was in San Francisco, which was just basically everybody was on his shit. Right or wrong, it didn't matter. He didn't feel like he had anybody on his side. Demanded to be, sent out of San Francisco, and then went and had career years after he left in Philly, which ironically, Mariucci said that's what he feels is they're trying to avoid in Oakland, and it ended up like it did, which is just I don't know. How do you go from you get into an argument with the general manager, you start throwing racial slurs at him, you threaten to kick his ass, you get a pass on that, then you disappear, then your agent appears on the NFL Network on a game that your team and nobody that is playing that night has anything to do with you or your agent, and they specifically give him his agent time to get up there and plead his case for him. Then it comes out the team's going to suspend him, which would mean that he doesn't get his guaranteed money. There would be no guaranteed money. And then it comes out, no. He sat down with the general manager and his agent, and they apologized, and he gave a heartfelt, tear-filled apology in front of to the entire team in a team meeting with the team captain standing next to him. And at some point in everything I'm describing, he released that video of the conversation between him and Gruden. And
then after that,
everything seemed to be fine after that.
They fine him for his conduct. Instead of suspending him, they fine him, which voided his guaranteed money.
Well, yeah, but that was the next day. That day when they reported that he had given his tear-filled apology, supposedly everything was fine. Everything was hunky-dory. Next day, you hear, boom, that he got fined.
So what was the fine from? Posting the phone call?
I don't know. I know California is a two-party consent state, but that's not for the Oakland Raiders to play the police or the prosecutor with. Mm-hmm. And I think Gruden would have to press charges himself. He would have to complain and press charges.
Well, and saying it's awesome is going to kind of hurt your case if you try to press charges there, Johnny boy.
But yeah, then next thing you know, boom, he's been released. And within a matter of hours, he's signed to a contract with New England that, with incentives and the option for next year, if the team picks it up, he's going to, if he plays this year and they pick up his option for next year, he's going to make $35 million over 2 years.
Yeah, that's $5 more million than the Raiders are going to pay him. So he went to a better team and he got a raise
for a shorter amount of time.
Yeah. Which, another point Bill Burr made is like, I didn't know you could be such an asshole you got kicked off the Raiders. But I guess Al's long gone, so maybe those days are gone as well.
A story came out. First of all, I mean, let's just get this fucking out of the way. We all agree if this was a white player to a black GM, he said, look here, you river cricket, I'm going to kick the shit out of you, or dropped an N-bomb on him, or spear chucker night fight, or whatever.
That'd have been it.
That player would never again play in the NFL? I mean, it's pretty much a given, right?
That is our current social climate, yes.
Okay. Because, remember, privilege, folks. Privilege. Only certain people have it. Everybody else is working at a disadvantage here. Everybody else has to watch their P's and Q's. Who's really privileged in this situation? But I digress.
This guy, Antonio Brown's had more happen to him in less than a week than some or a lot of athletes have had out there throughout their whole career.
But, now we'll get into this. I think it's brought on himself. Because another story that came out after he got signed to the Patriots was that Patriots tried to make a deal for him when he in March, and Pittsburgh wouldn't let him go to not even the division. I don't understand it, but they wouldn't let him go to an AFC rival. So my guess is he got word of this, and the fix has been in since he found that out. I'm talking about I'm saying the day the fucking hot air balloon landed at training camp. I mean, that was the start of that. That was all the start of this. Like, all right, let's just be such a giant pain in the ass if they get rid of me. And apparently he consulted some social media consultants who told him what to do to get released. So, like, I think this, as soon as he found out the Patriots wanted him, I think this was all planned. Every single bit of it.
Oh, I'm with you. In the offseason, the Patriots offered a first and third to Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh went, no way, because most likely, if we make the playoffs, we're going to have to go through you. And we don't want to play against him. So they sent him to a team who nobody in their right mind thinks is going to the playoffs this year before the season started. And I wouldn't be shocked if someone from the Patriots contacted him and said, if you act a fool and they throw you off the team, then you're a free agent.
Yeah, because for a program that is known to take no shit and deal with no nonsense, they picked him up really quickly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and his little video of him running around his backyard talking about, I'm free.
Whatever, you're rich. You're freer than most of us.
God, that looked retarded. But, to me, that's what makes this a bullshit situation. Like, I understand that Bill Belichick reads the rule book and he operates on a very fine line. But this is ridiculous, man. I mean, if you could get draft picks taken away and coaches suspended and fined in the hundreds of thousands of dollars for contacting a free agent before the allotted time, shouldn't there be some sort of investigation into this? And if it's found that, yes, absolutely the Patriots had a hand in this, absolutely they were fucking telling him or guiding him in what to do so he could get booted, so he could end up on their team, shouldn't there be some sort of repercussions for this?
How would you prove it?
How do you prove anything, dude? That's the dumbest fucking question you've asked in a while. I'm not saying... Look, I believe that there was some fucking collusion behind the scenes because there's just too much fucking smoke for there not to be fire. It warrants an investigation, period. I mean, let's be honest here. If this was a murder case, he would be the number one suspect. He would be being investigated as we speak. So how is the NFL, with Mr. Hard-Ass Goodell in the front office, not clamping down on this shit and going, okay, wait a minute, this is a little too convenient. You guys didn't even let 24 hours go by?
Well, they're not even going to have to investigate this because of the news today.
Innocent until proven guilty there, Ice.
No, he's already guilty in Goodell's eyes.
So, Zeke's playing ball. Joe Mixon's playing ball.
Wait, hold on.
There's video of Joe Mixon.
Did Zeke play ball the year the allegations were on him?
Sure did.
The full season?
No, but he's played ball.
All right, then.
Dude, haven't we had this discussion before? If you win and you're talented, people look the other way.
Okay.
Joe Mixon.
Just saying.
Joe Mixon is on tape decking a bitch. He's in his third season.
I don't think Antonio Brown's going to play the first half of the season.
Well, all due respect to Antonio Brown and the Patriots, does it look like they need him to come in the beginning of the season?
Yeah, they dismantled Pittsburgh.
Well, because Antonio Brown is now on the Patriots, they just traded Demetrius Thomas to the Jets.
Demetrius Thomas, who was a healthy scratch in the game against... Is that the player that was a healthy scratch?
Demarius Thomas, yes.
Demarius, whatever. Sorry,
Ice too.
I'm not up on my traditional African name. Sorry.
This is the team that took Randy Moss. Just putting that out there.
And kept his ass.
Absolutely, but this is also the team. This is also the team that can turn anybody into a Hall of Fame wide receiver.
I mean, he's going to be one anyway, but okay.
My point is, the whole thing is I don't think he'll play this whole season. Period. I think Goodell is going to.
You're already correct.
Down.
He's missed one game.
Hang on. Goodell is going to crack down on Antonio Brown for these allegations and come down extremely hard because of the saga that is how he got to be on the Patriots. So he won't have to investigate it. He won't have to prove a damn thing about, collusion or interference or anything because he already has a smoking gun. You've been accused of, raping a woman 3 times.
But it's it's a civil suit, not a criminal suit.
It doesn't matter.
Yes, it does. A criminal suit, you can go to jail. A civil suit, you write a check.
Because the police department and everybody else already cleared Zeke. There was nothing there. Nothing. And Goodell still suspended him for 6 games.
But to be fair, it was Zeke's second incident. It was not the first time Zeke had been caught beating on a woman.
Right, and what we just saw with this saga with Antonio Brown going from Pittsburgh to Oakland to the Patriots could be considered his first. And instead of doing all the investigation and
no, that ain't criminal shit.
It's not, but to Goodell, it's something that he would have to investigate. Now, would he have to investigate it if he comes down extremely hard on these allegations? No. So whenever Goodell gets around to answering what NFL is going to do with Antonio Brown, don't be shocked if it's just to the extreme. All I'm saying.
If you're good, we don't care. Greg Hardy. That's my answer to you. Greg Hardy killed a woman and still played 2 more seasons.
First of all, what you're doing is you're ignoring the first bump in the road that Goodell's going to have to deal with Antonio Brown, which is bigger than Antonio Brown. It involves the Patriots, Antonio Brown, and his agent, and anyone else. If they start digging into the investigation and find that this was a planned and plotted out way to get Brown off Oakland and on to New England this season, then you know that he's going to come down hard on everybody for that. Then he's going to come down hard on him, if he's going to come down on him at all for this other shit. I don't think it's a given that he's going to automatically suspend him right out the gate.
Dude, Kareem Hunt is still in the league. Ray Rice was reinstated. Nobody drafted him or signed him, but yeah, and again, Greg Hardy played for 2 more years and he killed a woman. So how do you think all of a sudden Goodell is, based on something that's just, it's a lawsuit at this point, it's just allegations. Why do you think he's going to come down on him like that?
Because it's Goodell's favorite team.
And to defend AB a little bit, it's his first time he's been in trouble. Like Zeke, that was the second or third time he'd been in trouble when he got suspended for 4 games. This is the first time you have heard anything about Antonio Brown and the police since he's been in the league.
Well, I will say this. I don't know. At this point, none of us do. So everything that we're talking about is alleged, but the alleged text that he sent this lady, if they can be proven through phone records that it did come from his phone, it did go to her phone, and that these are unaltered messages, they don't exactly paint him in the best light. I mean, the first one, I jacked my dick on your back, slept with you in bed. Fuck your knowledge, bitch. I've been all pro before. I even knew you before I even knew you. You hit me up online, bitch, crying. I didn't hit you up. You never left my house since you had hotel. You feel asleep on my couch. Yes, that's exactly. You feel asleep on my couch. This is a Central Michigan athlete, folks. Student athlete right here. Fuck out of here. My baby mama tricked your dumb ass. Blasphemy. You're Y-O-U-R, a failure. Telling everybody you own a gym. What you gonna blast? Don't fucking write my phone line, L-I-E-N, bitch. Thought it was easy to get a come up. Using God alias fake ass hoe, you and your mama thought y'all hoes had a come up. Fuck out of here. Don't write my team. Then the next one is, thanks for giving us control of your life for 3 weeks. Next time you and your mama plotting on a come up, make sure all you hoes pick the right man, dumbass hoes. Maybe somebody you already fucked, your mama controlling your life like she's going to help you come up. You failed as a gymnast, you a nobody. Me and Redacted, a laugh about this shit, me busting on your back. I'll let them know when I'm bored. You a disgrace to little girls. You a failed gymnast living in the past at your mama's house with your mama. Lucky I showed you around. You're welcome. Y-O-U-R again. My baby mama know a weak bitch when she spot one. You played yourself. If that was a consensual relationship, you already know the people who are going to call that emotional abuse are sharpening their forks and knives, getting ready to carve into his ass like a fucking 40-ounce steak. You know that's coming.
Well, it's always on the person levying the allegations to prove it. At least it used to be. And I told you guys in the chat, and whatever, if you're super woke, you might want to turn the podcast off now. If you're super woke, what you fuck doing? Listen to us anyways. But I question the timing of this. I question the time. You wait till he has been dominating. It's happened twice in 2017, once last year. You wait till he has been dominating the news cycle for a month, and now you do it? You didn't go to the police, and you're filing a civil suit, not a criminal suit? I don't know, man. I
question how many times it took. All right, if you say the first time, you're a little gullible, you're a little forgivable, what have you, left, right, or center, and then it happens again.
To me, the big thing here is that it's a civil suit. It's not a criminal suit. That to me is the big thing here. Like,
I don't care what kind of suit it is. You wait till the third time. What are you? 3 strikes are out.
No,
I'll
be honest.
Enough. The second one, you're all of a sudden not trusting, and you go back for a third one?
I'll be honest with you. The fact that it's a civil suit, not a criminal suit, the fact that, as far as we know right now, if this comes out, then it'll change my opinion a little bit. But as far as we know right now, she has never gone to the police about this, didn't forward those emails to the police, didn't do anything like that. Yeah, that makes her look a certain way. And if you're so woke that offends you, go take a nap. Fuck off, cocksucker. I ain't here to fucking placate you pussies. I'm just fucking. I'm just saying. I'm just giving it to you, rough, rugged, and raw, like you fucking say. You want real? You just got real right up your ass.
Hey, Bill Cosby. That was a criminal suit.
Look, left, right, or center. Like I said in the chat, the biggest problem here is no matter if it's 100% true or not, nobody's going to believe this.
Doesn't matter.
Okay, first of all, you got to stop saying shit like nobody with such authority because it makes you sound like an idiot, dude. There's plenty of people that already believe her and are probably holding a candlelight vigil as we talk. They're all over college campuses. Stop that shit.
Yes.
Stop.
Yes.
All
The
right.
Bleeding Hearts are absolutely going to believe this. Matter of fact, they have already. He tried to kill her 3-4 times. Also, yes, I got that. No educated person, not woke, educated person, is going to believe her.
Really? In 2019, one of the tropes in society right now is you have to believe the woman. You sure about that statement?
Isn't it amazing we went from in the span of a few years to we have to listen to women's stories to we have to believe the women at all times.
To which my retort is, what happened to innocent till proven guilty?
No due process when comrade fucking socialism's in charge.
Oh man, innocent till proven guilty was gone a long time ago, and that's what I was telling you. The court of law can find him innocent or guilty. He's already guilty in
Whatever.
the court of public
Michael
opinion.
Vick
He's
played
done,
again.
son.
Michael Vick came and got 3 more seasons after he was out of jail. And he is the most hated NFL player of all. I don't know if we ever talked about that. That list came out over the summer. The most hated NFL player of all time. Michael Vick, number 1.
Hey man, you can murder people, you can beat your woman, you can rape a woman, but don't hurt a dog.
That's what me and my wife brought up. Like, there are rapists and murderers on this list, and the number 1 guy is the dogfighting guy. Our priorities are pretty fucked up as a society.
I personally know people who just completely stopped watching the NFL because they let him back in. And I was like, are you serious? Are you serious? This was a bridge too far. He fought dogs and did horrible shit to dogs, bait dogs, etc., etc. This is the one that makes you go, I can't deal with this anymore. Everything else that
Not
we've
Ray
heard
Lewis,
over the years.
Not Ray Caruth.
Yeah,
Mike
but
Vick is the tipping point. Okay, retard.
I get it. Look, I'm an animal lover, but yeah, there's also a point where it's like, all right, look, yeah, for the most part, animals are pretty much innocent. If you end up with a fucking rotten animal, and it's been my experience 9 times out of 10 because it had a rotten owner. All right, but people. Well, let's just be honest. There's a lot of people walking around that deserve at the very least an ass whooping, But
story.
I still can't sit and be like, the life of a dog is on par with the life of a fucking human.
Fuck no.
Okay, I'm sorry. The dog brings you joy. That dog might, but no matter how much joy it brings you, it's never going to grow up and cure cancer and AIDS.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry. It's never going to write it. Never going to write a beautiful fucking piece of music. Never going to write a great work of literature.
Dogs don't pay taxes.
So, this whole thing is just a clusterfuck. And this is, to me, all the bullshit that happened in the week since our last show aside. Let's just deal with what is going on right now. He's on the Patriots, and Bill Belichick better fucking hope he has control of that locker room and that team like he thinks he does.
Tinfoil hat here, Chris. Like you wanted me to put it on, I'll put it on. What if this allegations was concocted to hide the fact of everything that got him to the Patriots?
It'd be pretty fucked up if it was.
And that's a pretty big risk.
Yeah.
Because you're telling me
No,
you don't think
it's not, because it's a civil suit, not a criminal suit.
What I'm saying where it's a risk and it comes in is I don't give a fuck about whether it's a criminal suit or not. I'm talking about you're taking a big risk with the with the general, with the commissioner of the NFL by going, hey, you're too stupid to concentrate on 2 things at once. Hey, we colluded and broke the rules to get Antonio Brown on our team, but hey, he's got accused of sexual assault, so you got to pay attention to that and forget about this. I think Goodell can concentrate on 2 things at once.
Breaking news. Pats didn't know about it. He might be put on the commissioner's exempt list.
Meaning, I know we've talked about it. I forgot what the exempt list was.
Means you ain't. It's the list that Kareem Hunt was on. Means you ain't out of league, but you ain't playing football for a while.
That's what I said.
Well,
Yeah, it
There you
means he
go.
would not be counted on the Patriots active list while the league investigates the allegations.
There it is. If they can prove that they had no idea about this, then once again they can probably squeak out from under the microscope with minimal damage to him. Because I'll be honest with you, the minute it broke that he signed with the Patriots, all the usual Patriots haters came out of the woodwork saying all the usual shit, and all the Patriots, defenders came out saying the usual shit. And I was just sitting there thinking, like, wait a minute. How is this not an end around rules the NFL has in place? Like I said, it wasn't even 24 hours later they signed him. That's what gets me. Do you understand that means they found out he was released? They'd internally decided, we want him, contact Drew Rosenhaus, got Drew Rosenhaus on the phone, told him they wanted him. Drew Rosenhaus got AB on the phone. They came to terms on a contract, signed it, and announced it to the press within 4 hours. That's got to be the quickest I've ever heard of that shit happening. There's a whole lot of moving parts there for 4 hours.
Yeah.
For there not to be some, look, if I get thrown off, even if it was something as much as, well, what happens if I get thrown off the Raiders and I become a free agent? Even that to me is kind of pushing it. Like, so wait a minute, the team that you want to sign with, that you want to play for, you're going to ask them that question, and then you're going to go act a fool until it happens? I mean, because you're right, Chris. Look at it. This season of Hard Knocks. I can't remember his name. He's on Colin Cowherd's show a lot. It's a black guy, kind of heavy set.
Whitlock?
Yes, thank you. He brought up a good point. He said, this is the first season of Hard Knocks I watched that had hardly anything to do about football. It was all the drama besides anything going on a football field, period. And yeah, Antonio Brown brought a lot of it. The hot air balloon. Of course, there was someone that said, well, so he damn near risked losing his feet as part of this? No, I think that was just a fuck up with that cryogenic whatever the fuck. I think that was just a fuck up. I don't think that was on purpose.
Yeah. That was some gravy on the mashed potatoes.
But I mean, that added to the situation. And then the shit with the helmet. And then the shit with the general manager. And then, like I said, his agent coming out and just talking for 10 minutes on NFL Network and really not saying anything. They even asked him about his mental health, and he dodged the question.
Did that, see, until the stuff about the Patriots wanting him in March came out, that's the first thing I was thinking. I was like, man, is there any type of medication he has perhaps run out of or switched to? Because he's just acting erratically. Like, that's the first thing I thought is my man is bipolar and he's off his meds.
Well, it wouldn't be the first time. I mean, look at guys like Dennis Rodman. Get him once Chuck Daly left the Pistons and he was pretty much on his own and the Bad Boys broke up. He just went wild.
Yeah,
I just watched a 30 for 30 on that.
That's when the blonde hair and the tattoos and the piercings all showed up.
And even playing on a team with Michael Jordan, Scottie Pippen, Phil Jackson, they still didn't reel him in 100%. I mean,
it's one of the best rebounders and defensive players of all time. You let him do his thing.
Yeah, I was watching the 30-30 on that, and it hit me. We talk about Michael Jordan and his dominance and everything else. Scotty has 5 rings. Or Scotty. Dennis.
Yeah.
With 2 different teams, so.
Yeah, but he's a defensive player.
Oh, most definitely. Yeah. That 30 for 30 enlightened me on a lot of shit.
But, I mean, there's other guys who weren't as self-destructive, but they definitely had problems. Remember Zach Greinke had anxiety problems and was in and out of the league for, better parts 2 seasons while he dealt with it. There's, Christ. I mean, if you want to put any type of drug and alcohol abuse under, more of a medical or mental issue than a criminal one, we could just start naming people and keep going for the rest of the show.
Yeah.
In sports.
No, this boils down to what we already said. Antonio Brown is the baby of Ocho Cinco and Terrell Owens.
Well, I'll say this.
Maybe personality-wise.
I don't know how many favors Gruden did for himself by just constantly singing Antonio Brown's praises through this entire situation, and then it blowing up in his face like it did. I mean, if you guys watched the end of that game last night, and any of the post-game interviews, I mean, pretty much everyone's like, "Hey, look, we have nothing against him. Good luck wherever he goes, but we're over this." I mean, everybody's still towing the company line. That's not Mike Mayock. They're all still, nothing but love for him, and blah 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 blah, and this and that. And then you look at when they asked Ben Roethlisberger, how do you feel about him signing with the Patriots, and he just said, "Whatever." Next question.
Well, he sure he wants to give that answer after his Sunday night performance.
Well, we'll get there.
Sporgy.
ChristopherMedia.net.
It's the divisional round, and you can follow all the action at BetOnline.net. On Saturday, LA visits the frozen tundra of Green Bay, while Baltimore and Buffalo face off with their electric third-year quarterbacks. On Sunday, and after winning their first playoff game in 26 years, Cleveland meets last year's champs. In the late game, two legendary future Hall of Fame QBs square off as Tampa visits the Big Easy. Check out all the action this week at BetOnline.net as teams take one step closer to the championship. Always available online or your mobile device. Visit BetOnline.net today. Bring the game home at BetOnline.net. It's the divisional round, and you can follow all the action at BetOnline.net. On Saturday, LA visits the frozen tundra of Green Bay, while Baltimore and Buffalo face off with their electric third-year quarterbacks. On Sunday, and after winning their first playoff game in 26 years, Cleveland meets last year's champs. In the late game, two legendary future Hall of Fame QBs square off as Tampa visits the Big Easy. Check out all the action this week at BetOnline.net as teams take one step closer to the championship. Always available online or your mobile device. Visit BetOnline.net today. Bring the game home at BetOnline.net. It's the divisional round, and you can follow all the action at BetOnline.net. On Saturday, LA visits the frozen tundra of Green Bay, while Baltimore and Buffalo face off with their electric third-year quarterbacks. On Sunday, and after winning their first playoff game in 26 years, Cleveland meets last year's champs. In the late game, two legendary future Hall of Fame QBs square off as Tampa visits the Big Easy. Check out all the action this week at BetOnline.net as teams take one step closer to the championship. Always available online or your mobile device. Visit BetOnline.net today. Bring the game home at BetOnline.net. It's the divisional round, and you can follow all the action at BetOnline.net. On Saturday, LA visits the frozen tundra of Green Bay, while Baltimore and Buffalo face off with their electric third-year quarterbacks. On Sunday, and after winning their first playoff game in 26 years, Cleveland meets last year's champs. In the late game, two legendary future Hall of Fame QBs square off as Tampa visits the Big Easy. Check out all the action this week at BetOnline.net as teams take one step closer to the championship. Always available online or your mobile device. Visit BetOnline.net today. Bring the game home at BetOnline.net.
ChristopherMedia.net.
Sporgy.
But the fans in Oakland were saying, "Fuck you, Antonio."
Oh, they were chanting it last night during the game.
Yeah.
They were chanting flat out, "Fuck Antonio Brown," and the announcers were like, those at home, you might hear a chant going. It's something we can't repeat, and it's directed at Antonio Brown. I was like, oh, I hear it clear as day. Fuck Antonio Brown. Yeah, I hear him. The beauty of live sports.
They're just mad because they're fucked. That was their season.
But yeah, okay. So if he's on the commissioner's exemption list, then that tells me that the Patriots are looking at it like, we'll deal with him when and if Goodell's done with him. We're moving forward. And any other franchise, I would say, good luck. It's the Patriots.
Nope. Yeah,
They're a fucking machine, dude.
They'll be fine.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
They'll just sign Melvin Gordon instead.
and then you
Fernandez looking at you.
Well, then you got the shit that was, the rumors that have been going around for the last couple of days that there's going to be some sort of announcement coming from Gronk. And he posted a bunch of cryptic shit on his social media.
Dude, if Antonio Brown ends up playing and Gronk comes back, that's not even fair.
Well, he has until week 13 to basically unretire, and he can come back at any point once he unretires. If he waits till week 13, he has to wait till next season. Like what kind of happened with Jason Witten.
If Antonio Brown plays, do they even lose?
A lot of people, the minute they found out he was signed, were saying 19-0 Super Bowl win.
Yeah, is this if he plays, I firmly believe they could give the 72 Dolphins a run for their money.
Well, I mean, historically, the only man to stop him is Eli Manning, and he ain't going to the Super Bowl this year.
No.
He ain't going to play.
The number 2 and number 3 receivers on New England are number 1 guys somewhere else if Antonio Brown plays. Edelman and Josh Gordon. Those would be your number 2 and your number 3. That is ridiculous.
Yeah, your slot's all kinds of filled.
And if Gronk comes back,
Yeah. And if
there's
Gronk-
your red zone.
Give it up.
Yeah, if Gronk comes back, it's to quote you last week, Rich. Championship goes through New England until further notice if that shit happens.
Well, I think honestly, what's probably going to happen is Goodell has no. I don't know if he. Unless there's something going on I don't know about. I don't see any reason for Goodell to expedite the process of looking into any of this. He doesn't owe Antonio Brown anything. He's already proven that he will fucking throw some fucking shade and haterade on the fucking Patriots in a heartbeat. He don't give a fuck if they're
That
the
is
fucking
his favorite
franchise.
team.
Yeah, he don't give a fuck if they're the face of the NFL for the last 20 years. It does not matter to him. So if he drags his feet, Antonio Brown could be sitting for quite a bit of this season before a ruling even comes down, which could at that point put him out for the entire season.
And therein lies the X factor. Antonio Brown and all of his glitz and glamour and shakes and bakes and all of the shit he's doing to get there didn't realize the hatred that Goodell has for the Patriots. The Deflategate, the Spygate, this gate, that gate.
Hey, Earl, you forget these guys are in a union.
How did I forget they were in a union?
Because it may not be such as cut and dry with Antonio Brown. You know, the union could fight for him. His agent could fight for him. Like, it's not criminal, it's civil, and nothing's been proven yet. You can't do shit.
But he could place them on the exempt list until they're done investigating. And there's nothing anybody can do.
The union could step in. That's what the union's for.
They tried that shit with Zeke, and he still sat for 6 games.
The only thing I'll say about the union as far as the NFL goes is it's the weakest professional sports union in America. And they can't even get guaranteed contracts. I mean, they're not a very strong union. I don't know how serious Goodell takes them. I don't. I mean, I'm not saying that to downplay the situation. I'm saying that because I'm ignorant of how serious Goodell takes that union. It doesn't seem to me that he's very scared of them. I mean, they have a new CBA coming up, and you know, I keep hearing, Goodell will lock the players out if they fucking try to go too hard and make too many demands. That's some Gary Bettman shit.
What is that union going to do? Strike?
Yeah.
Bullshit.
They've done it before.
Not over Antonio Brown not playing.
No, but the CBA comes up in 2021.
Well, maybe if they strike, we'll get a replacements part 2.
Yeah.
And wash that motherfucker while you're at it.
I'll go play. Fuck him. I'm a scab.
Why you play that dumbass song?
But you know I hate this fucking song.
Well, sadly, I think that, you would think that after the week Antonio Brown had, it's time for him to just put his head down, go out there and let his play do the talking. I don't think that's on the menu whatsoever.
No.
If I'm Drew Rosenhaus, I'm telling him to go to hunker down in the bunker, shut your fucking mouth, don't talk to anybody that you don't trust, and let this play out. Don't make shit worse. Don't stir the pot worse than you already have.
Well, another thing that doesn't look good for the filer of the lawsuit is she's seeking $75,000. That's it. Nothing criminal. She just wants $75,000. That's not a good look.
I don't want to get off on some other shit that's not really sports related, but I just don't understand this. Like I said, if she went to the police, if she went to a prosecutor and they investigated and said there's not enough here to prosecute, and this was her only recourse, okay, I understand that. But if it comes out that she's never talked to the police, talked to a prosecutor, yeah, I'm sorry. That makes you look suspect.
The initial story I'd read said she never went to the police.
Well, I would hate to be on that jury. I'd have a very hard time ruling in her favor then. I mean, I would give the benefit of the doubt to her if she had went and they said, look, there's just not enough physical evidence here.
Well, I bet you that's why she went civil. Civil, you don't have to do reasonable doubt. The burden of proof is less in a civil trial.
Yeah.
So maybe she's looking at it as it's a way to get paid. Either either it goes to trial, she wins and gets paid, or he settles it and she gets paid.
If $75,000 is what you value your sexual autonomy at, knowing that your lawyer is going to take a third to half of that right off the rip, then bill you, I mean, what's she looking at clearing? 20 grand if she's lucky?
But she says she's been having near daily panic attacks and suicidal ideations. Whatever the fuck that means.
And
So that's also part of the 75 grand is going to make up for.
that seems awful low.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I don't even know. Why would a lawyer take that? Wouldn't it's just like any other negotiation. You ask for the fucking moon and the stars, and then you get dragged back down to reality. But you always ask for more than you want.
I mean, if I'd been raped and sexually assaulted 3 times, that's at least 6 zeros. But that's me.
Yeah, because supposedly the story I read was he exposed himself the first time. He jerked off on her back from behind while she was watching TV the second time, which both of those are sexual assault. But, I mean, the third time she claims he held her down, she said no and stopped repeatedly, and he penetrated her. That's flat out rape. That's just what that is, if that's what happened. So, I mean, it's kind of believable that someone would escalate like that if they were inclined at this type of behavior. You start off, hey, here's my dick, check it out, helicopter dick. What do you think about that? I mean, I'm sorry, jerking off on somebody. I'm into some kinky shit. I've never thought of doing that unless someone's been like jerk off on me. And then I'm like, come here, sweetheart, push them tits together. So and then flat out rape. I mean, I don't know.
I'm all done here. I've said everything. I'll just repeat it. If you are offended by the first thing and you don't tell anybody, but yet you go back to the same person to allow him to do it again, or think maybe he's learned his ways and he won't do it and you're absolutely going to train him, and then he does it again and you don't tell anybody or say anything, and then go back for the third time. No.
Whatever. Already got the victim blaming hat on. Let's just go whole hog. One of the incidents was described as, God damn it, I had it. In May 2018, after a night out at a Miami area club, Taylor says she went back to Brown's home in Miami to use the bathroom and grab some food, and the receiver forced her down onto a bed, pushed her face into the mattress, and forcibly raped her.
Yeah, that was the third time.
But do you see what I'm saying? If it started off with he pulled the nude move on her, then he jerked off on her from behind, then he raped her. That's escalate. It's escalating every time with every incident. I can understand.
I don't want to get it too entwined as to how long Antonio Brown can go, but who sits there for so long for a man to jerk off and ejaculate onto their back?
Well, I'm more of the, if these other 2 incidents happened first, what the hell are you doing going back to the guy's house late at night after the club?
That's what I just said. If you can't say anything or do anything or feeble-minded to forgive him the first time and he does it again and you still don't say anything to anybody, why in the hell would you go back to him the third time?
Yeah. If I got jerked off on when I went over to your house, I'm not going to your house after the club. Sorry. That's just me.
No.
Sorry, not sorry. This is a Mike Tyson incident. You come to my house at 2 a.m. in the fucking morning, you know what you're going there for.
No. It's not that. It's more, like I said, you've jerked off on the back of my head. I'm not going to your house at 2 in the morning.
Anybody jerks off on the back of my head, we're going to the pig farm to get rid of their body after they fucking kill them. All right, motherfucker, you got it all types of twisted. And I don't want to hear, I was picking up a vibe. There's no vibe here. You're a sick fuck. But, look, here's the deal, man. In today's day and age, no one wants to hear what we're saying. No one wants to hear that. It does not matter if she got blackout drunk, stripped butt booty naked, fucked 20 guys, and then came over to him and, and she was like, fuck me, take me. And he did. And then the next day she said, I changed my mind. I regret this. You raped me. We're just supposed to go, oh, poor victim. She got raped. And that's just all there is to it, man. I mean, it's just like the shit with Louis C.K. There's a lot more to them stories that was suppressed in the media for the most part There was a whole lot of flirting and dirty talking going on. He didn't just cold out of nowhere walk up to someone like Sarah Silverman and say, "You mind if I masturbate in front of you?" and pull his dick out and go to town. There was a whole lot of fucking flirting and dirty talk that led up to it. But that was never reported because it doesn't fit the narrative. So the lie of omission comes in, and that's where we're at in society right now. It's just all there is to it.
And again, to me the timing is suspect. Like, you pick now when he's been dominating the news cycle for a month, and you pick now. It's just it's the fact that the timing. It's a civil suit. Just sorry, call me a victim blamer. I'm not buying it.
It's like Chappelle in his new special. I'm what's called as a victim shamer.
Yeah.
What's known as a victim shamer.
There are too many things in this story that just don't add up. I mean, and again, too, shall we check with his lengthy criminal history? Oh, wait, he doesn't have one. So,
if up until he signed with the Patriots, like you said, it seemed like he was loopy and he was off his meds or on some new meds or something. Then when he signed with the Patriots, I was like, oh, he's crazy like a fox. That's what he is.
He's been quiet as shit. You haven't heard shit from him since he got signed from the Patriots.
Well, I mean, and then you have people like Jerry Rice coming out who released a statement saying, I want to make sure I'm, excuse me, quoting him directly. This is what Jerry Rice said about Antonio Brown. "We all got played. He contacted me. He told me he wanted to play ball here in the Bay Area. I bought into it because I can only take a man at his word, but I think this was already planned." And he ain't the only one that has come out and said this shit.
He's right. I totally think the fix was in.
Yeah, but he's a really big name to think that.
Well, especially if he talked to the man. And Brown blew smoke up his ass and convinced him, hey, look, I want to go play in the Bay Area. I want to play for the Raiders, whatever, blah, blah, blah. And we forget, Jerry Brown did play for the Raiders for a few seasons. I mean, I'm sure it's... Jerry Rice. Jerry Rice, sorry. Yeah, excuse me.
California governor, Jerry Brown?
Yeah, that's that. I was like, wait, what? No. And I mean, even if he didn't play for the fucking Raiders, if Jerry Rice picks up the phone and contacts you about, I just talked to Antonio Brown and he's open to playing for you, you might want to make a trade offer for him. You're going to listen to that, aren't you?
Oh, absolutely. That's kind of a very viable source.
I'll give you the benefit of the doubt, Rich. Maybe he was in until he played a few days of training camp. Went, oh, this team's going to be a pile of shit. I got to get the fuck out of here.
Well, if that's the case, then that means the hot air balloon arrival and all that shit was just nonsense from the get-go for the sake of nonsense.
What about this? What if, because we've already said it, what if he was really going to be a Raider, wanted to be a Raider, was all about being a Raider, and then somebody told him, hey, the Patriots wanted you, tried to make all kinds of trades for you.
You mean his agent?
And couldn't get you.
That's who told him.
But the trade and everything had already happened to the Raiders, and he's out of, Pittsburgh, and he's like, well, fuck, how the hell do I get out of this?
Right.
And then brought in, the social
Google's hot air balloons. Yeah.
Right. Social media person comes in and says, well, here's what you do.
Act insane. And no, but he was crazy, because think about, he got Oakland to void his contract. His actions didn't void his contract. Oakland fined him, thus voiding his guarantees. That's crazy like a fox shit right there.
Would have sucked if it blew up in his face and they were like, no, get on the field, bitch.
Well, he probably just said he wouldn't have played. I could see that happening like that. Either way, did any of us see him not playing football this year? No. Someone would have. Ice, I was telling you, someone will put up with his shit. We just didn't think it was really the Patriots. I don't
think the Patriots put up with it. I think the Patriots will shut it up.
I figured Bengals, Seahawks, teams that need a receiver. Either one of the New York teams.
Didn't Chad Johnson make a stop in Patriots?
Yeah, I think he played a season.
Right, yeah.
Which should show you, between him, Randy Moss, they're willing to put up with a little bit of bullshit for a talent.
Well, it's also... Randy Moss was told No ifs, ands, or buts, you will toe the line. And that's all there is to it. And after when he started seeing how his first season was going, I'm pretty sure he was like, all my bullshit, I can let it go for a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Set some NFL records.
That's just it. Randy Moss and Chad Johnson, and I'm sure AB are all going to do what's called shut the fuck up and play ball to get that ring.
Well, we'll see. I think Goodell's going to drag his feet. I think he's going to drag his investigation out. I wouldn't count on seeing AB playing ball anytime within the first half of the season. I just don't. I don't see that happening. So, but like I said, Patriots are going, I don't give a shit. We don't give a shit. We're the Patriots. We're going to be fine. Trust us. And how can you doubt a team that's been to the fucking Super Bowl 3 years in a row and won 2 of them?
League has informed Patriots that an investigation will take place regarding Antonio Brown. That just broke. So, yeah, he ain't playing week 2. So if you got him fantasy team, sit him, kids.
OJ is real upset. He drafted Andrew Luck and Antonio Brown. That's who Antonio Brown needs to worry about.
Yeah, I know, right?
OJ showing up on his fucking front door. Yeah,
he's
I
killed.
need to cut your head off.
Yeah, he's killed before Antonio. Sleep with one eye open.
If you look out there and he's wearing black gloves, just don't answer the door.
Yeah. OJ's here. He's wearing a pair of black gloves.
Yeah, I got Al Callens at speed dial. He's such a. By the way, it is a valid point that he goes on Twitter and he's like, hey, "What up, Twitter world? It's your boy OJ. By the way, I'm gonna make this all about me."
Every time I hear it, it's like, stop saying hello, Twitter world.
What? Andrew Luck retires, he makes it all about him. You fucked my fantasy football team. AB gets into some shit. You fucked up my fantasy football team.
I just wonder if
it's not all about you.
I wonder if he's turned off his comments because it's months later and they're still hilarious.
Oh yeah, every once in a while, someone will take a screenshot of something that gets posted. Which if they're, and who knows, maybe Twitter's like, he was never convicted of murder. You know what I'm saying? So if he reports them, we delete them and move on. How hard is it to create a bullshit burner Twitter account? Can't be that hard.
Yeah.
You know what, though? Yeah, OJ's never been accused of murder. That's fine.
No,
but I treat OJ I treat OJ the same way I treat Ray Lewis. If they ever showed up at a nightclub I was at, I'm calling it a night.
Come on. OJ killed 2 people. Ray Lewis held a knife. Come on.
There was gunfire.
Now, Ray Caruth, different story.
Fuck that. If anybody shows up at a fucking nightclub I'm at, I'm calling it a night. I'm just saying.
All right. So now that we've given an hour to the Antonio Brown saga, should we switch gears for a second? Talk about baseball before we go back to football?
I forgot to send you guys this, but it's a quote from Kevin Durant on his time with the Warriors, and I want to get your guys' take on this. This is via the Wall Street Journal. His quote goes, "As time went on, I started to realize I'm just different from the rest of the guys. It's not a bad thing, just my circumstances and how I came up in the league. And on top of that, the media always looked at it like KD and the Warriors. So it's like nobody could get a full acceptance of me there." Basically,
you got 2 titles. That's my take.
He felt, basically, he says, or he doesn't say, but they're summing it up this way. He seems to have felt that he would always stand apart from the Warriors because they were drafted or grew their careers there, and he came in later.
Absolutely. 100.
Wah. You got 2 titles. Cry a fucking river, buddy.
KD is the addition to any of the Bulls, 90 Bulls teams. They were great without him. They were better with him. They're going to be great without him. What the problem is, honestly.
It just feels like he has the mindset that he was an outsider from the get-go.
He was.
Really?
Yeah, but...
Really? Didn't the whole team fly out to recruit you? You sure about that, KD?
The team accepted him. But the media, the fans, the NBA world, one more time, court of public opinion, all saw him as an addition.
So what?
He wasn't. Well, that's what they're saying.
That's what I say to him. So the fuck what? You're on the Warriors for 2
obviously
years.
it
You
bothered
got 2
him.
titles. You've been chasing a title for a decade. You got 2 of them. Ooh, boo-hoo. All you should care about is what the guys that you have to play with every day and see every day and work with every day think of you. Fuck everybody else.
Well, it obviously bothered him enough to make that quote, and it's because it was. He's saying what it is. He said it as if that's how people perceive it to be. Motherfucker, that's how it was. They won titles before you. They're going to win titles after you. Yes, the Warriors did it right. They came up through the draft, and they put together a championship team. I mean, that's just how that shit's going to roll. KD was a great addition, just like any piece to any great championship team. AB to the fucking Patriots. I mean, it is what it's going to be.
I'm just trying to picture Charles Barkley giving a fuck about what the press and the fans think about him if he went to a team and won back-to-back championships. Like it seems like it just seems like KD is a little too concerned with what other people think instead of just letting his fucking play do the talking and just saying point to me where my outsider ass came in here and hurt anything. You can't.
Look,
so end of discussion.
Shaq was a big name in Orlando. That's where he got his start. Took him to great heights. Almost won a championship with him. Saw that the shit wasn't going to work. Went out to L.A., won championships. Great career there. Went down to Miami, won championships. Great career there. Obviously, Shaquille O'Neal is a championship player.
Went to Phoenix, went to Boston, did jack shit there.
Yeah, at the fucking twilight of his career.
Exactly.
It's like saying Michael Jordan out in fucking Wizards, did shit there. Had no business playing. Anyways, Kevin Durant made a career in OKC. Didn't win dick. Went to the fucking Warriors, won 2 championships. Now he's out in Brooklyn. If he wins out in Brooklyn, he's a championship player. If he doesn't, then he is a great addition to a championship team.
Wins out in Brooklyn with who?
Kyrie Irving.
Oh, cool. Think he'll play a full season? Like he hasn't
Probably
for the last
not.
3 years?
Probably not.
I think him going to Brooklyn is a fucking stupid-ass move. But that's just me.
Most definitely. He could have went to Toronto, should have gone to Philly. New York would have fucking died to have him.
Yeah, but Jay-Z owns the Brooklyn Nets. So.
Damn right. And Jay-Z's trying to put together a championship team.
Which, by the way, we never talked about this, but to shift gears for a sec, the whole Jay-Z wanting to buy a football team and the woke flakes coming out of the woodwork to go, oh, we thought you stood behind Colin Kaepernick. Now you're going to be a slave owner? And I was just like, you got to be kidding me, right? You got to be kidding.
I tell him, shut up, I'll buy you.
Like, just, dude, you can't do anything.
Nope.
In these people's eyes.
Nope. So they can all
Cannot
get fucked.
do anything. Like, Jesus Christ, these are the most miserable cocksuckers I've ever fucking... Nothing's good enough, is it? Nothing is ever good enough. But anyways.
And I loved what he said on the whole thing. He's like, at some point, is this about Colin Kaepernick or is this about something bigger? Is this about him not having a job or is this about something bigger? And I'm sure he was called all sorts of Uncle Toms and blah, blah, blah. And who gives a fuck? It's once again, it's the usual suspect. Yeah. It's probably people who don't like sports giving him a bunch of shit.
Absolutely. Yeah.
But with regarding Kevin Durant is a good player. He's a great player. But right now, until he proves differently, he's a great addition to a championship team. That's all he is.
Well, this is just where it's like it blows my mind to think that a professional athlete that has went through everything that you have to go through to become a professional athlete with the talent that he has, with the success that he has, is still so self-conscious that what other people say can get to him like this.
Yeah,
I mean that to me is the most shocking. Is the most shocking part of this entire thing. I don't know if "shocking" is the right word. Just it leaves me scratching my head, going, "Huh?"
Seems rather bitch-like, if you ask me.
Yeah, you're Kevin Durant. Like,
well, but at the same time, though, just because you're great at something, that won't fulfill every need you have. You want to be accepted.
Go home and cry in your big pile of money about being accepted. I don't have any friends.
But I get it.
Go buy
I
friends.
get it. I knew exactly how this was going to turn out when he got there. Like, I'm sorry, not sorry. The Warriors are my basketball team. They were my basketball team before anybody else called it. I watched Steph Curry when he was in Davidson College. I'm like, God damn that
Okay,
kid
sports
can play.
hipster, we get it. You like the Warriors first.
No, I'm serious. And then I watched them, creep on the come up and do what they did with all the drafts and everything. And I'm like, holy shit, this could happen. And they did. And then they got Durant, and I'm like, for what? All right, well, it doesn't even matter for what. Fuck it, we're going to go. But I knew he wasn't going to fit the scheme of the Warriors, personally, personality-wise, because he had to fight and kick and scratch and do to no avail. He had to get traded to win it.
I just don't see what he's so butthurt about. You got 2
That-
titles. You're going to be a first ballot Hall of Famer.
But listen.
What are you crying about?
Because he's got 2 titles, he's going to be a first ballot Hall of Famer, and nobody looks at him the same way they look at the Warriors.
So what? If your identity is tied up that much in what your former employer thinks of you, you got problems.
It's
That's
not your
essentially
former
what they
employer.
are.
It's what you think of yourself.
They
It's
are
what
his
you
former
think of yourself,
employer.
though. But it's what he thinks of himself.
Well, then
He'll
go see a
never be
shrink.
looked
You got
at.
enough money.
Well, he can do that. He's looking at himself like, I'm never, quote unquote, a warrior.
Go to
He needs to
therapy
go-
and figure it out.
He needs to go see that daily affirmations guy from Saturday Night Live.
Yeah.
Look in the mirror, Kevin. You're smart enough, you're good enough, and doggone it, people like you. Now, hey, dude, I love the Charles Barkley one. Do you want to give Muggsy a hug? No, I'm okay with that. No. It's okay. I'll hug you. You're just so adorable.
But I mean, I get it, because that's the truth, and that sucks for Kevin Durant, but it is what it is.
I think it definitely speaks to a mindset he has, and that mindset is he's very concerned with what other people think. I don't know how much comfort I would take if I was the general manager of the Nets right now, hearing him say that. I'd be like, dude, have a little bit more fucking self-confidence, okay?
You're a grown-ass
Kevin-
man with 2 titles.
Kevin Durant. Yeah. Like, unless you just fuck up, you've pretty much punched your ticket to the Hall of Fame already. All right? Like, come on, dude. Seriously.
No, it's I can't get it. I get it, but I can't explain what I'm trying to get. When you think of the Warriors, you think of Steph Curry, Clay, Draymond Green, Iguodala, people that were there on the precipice of what they created. And then when you start talking about after the trade for KD, then you're like, and you got all this, and there's KD.
Well, it won't be a very popular opinion for Kevin Durant, but then maybe you shouldn't have chased a title.
Well,
if you didn't want to be
because
looked
that's
as an
exactly what he
also-ran,
did.
you shouldn't have joined a fucking loaded team.
You took the words right out of my fucking mouth. He is an also ran. He was also there when they won those 2. Yes, he was.
How about shut up and enjoy your titles?
Yeah, pretty much, man.
Sporgy.
ChristopherMedia.net.
It's the divisional round, and you can follow all the action at BetOnline.net. On Saturday, LA visits the frozen tundra of Green Bay, while Baltimore and Buffalo face off with their electric third-year quarterbacks. On Sunday, and after winning their first playoff game in 26 years, Cleveland meets last year's champs. In the late game, 2 legendary future Hall of Fame QBs square off as Tampa visits the Big Easy. Check out all the action this week at BetOnline.net as teams take one step closer to the championship. Always available online or your mobile device. Visit BetOnline.net today. Bring the game home at BetOnline.net. It's the divisional round, and you can follow all the action at BetOnline.net. On Saturday, LA visits the frozen tundra of Green Bay, while Baltimore and Buffalo face off with their electric third-year quarterbacks. On Sunday, and after winning their first playoff game in 26 years, Cleveland meets last year's champs. In the late game, 2 legendary future Hall of Fame QBs square off as Tampa visits the Big Easy. Check out all the action this week at BetOnline.net as teams take one step closer to the championship. Always available online or your mobile device. Visit BetOnline.net today. Bring the game home at BetOnline.net.
Look in your home. Look in your office. Look in your home office. Everywhere you turn, there's so much smart. At Capella University, we think education should be smart too. Our game-changing FlexPath format puts you in control of your master's degree, so you can learn how, when, and where you want. Smart, huh? Yeah, we think so too. So if you want to take the next step in your career, make Capella your first step. Visit capella.edu to learn more. Capella University. Don't just learn smarter.
It's the divisional round, and you can follow all the action at betonline.net. On Saturday, LA visits the frozen tundra of Green Bay, while Baltimore and Buffalo face off with their electric third-year quarterbacks. On Sunday, and after winning their first playoff game in 26 years, Cleveland meets last year's champs. In the late game, two legendary future Hall of Fame QBs square off as Tampa visits the Big Easy. Check out all the action this week at betonline.net as teams take one step closer to the championship. Always available online or your mobile device. Visit betonline.net today. Bring the game home at betonline.net.
ChristopherMedia.net.
Sporgy.
Well, while we're still on the NBA here, there's a list of the 2020 Hall of Fame eligible players that was released. Tim Duncan.
Yes.
I mean, this is how I'm looking at it. Do they have a shot at getting in? Yes or no? I would say yes with Tim Duncan. Mm-hmm. Kevin Garnett.
Yes.
Yes. He's
Kobe
the one that
Bryant.
started the Big Three.
Kobe Bryant. That's a lock.
Duh.
Yeah.
Yeah. Elton
First
Brand.
ballot.
Does he got a title?
No. Elton Brand, I don't believe, has a title.
I want to say he got one with the Lakers. Let me check. I think he was on one of those Kobe Lakers teams.
Well, while you're checking, I'm gonna go ahead and move on with the list. Chris Bosh.
No.
Yes, he's got a title.
He's not a first ballot Hall of Famer.
He's got a title.
No. We're not talking first ballot. They have a shot to get into the Hall of Fame, is what I'm saying.
Right.
Like Kobe's
But this
a
would be
lock. Kobe's a first ballot Hall of Famer. That's a lock.
Right, but I'm saying in 2020 Hall of Fame, no.
What about
But Chris Bosh? You mean one of the guys that was on the team with LeBron in Miami? You don't think he gets in first time?
No, I do not.
Why?
Because he got sick. He got injured. His career was left undone. All right, so you got one more time. I mean, this is like going to the Warriors for KD. You went to Miami Heat, and you had Dwayne Wade and, the king, LeBron James.
Got his titles.
Not to mention the rest of them.
Got his titles.
He's an also-ran, dude.
Okay, hold on. You're getting hung up on first ballot. Okay, you changed the parameters of my question. Stop raping my question. No means no, motherfucker. Respect the no.
Fuck off. Your question says right here, 2020 Hall of Fame. No.
Eligible players. Do you think he could get into the Hall of Fame ever then?
I don't see Chris Bosh getting in anytime soon. No.
Wow.
Okay. Andre Miller.
No.
Amari Stoudemire.
No. I don't even know why he's even on that list. He played on the Knicks.
He's eligible.
And this one, Tayshaun Prince.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
No.
He's got a ring, and he was a linchpin of this team when he was here.
Do
I got to play the where he stole the ball from Reggie Miller again?
No,
he went Stretch Armstrong. I got it.
I love Tayshaun Prince to death, but no.
Why?
Why is he going to be there? Just because he has a ring?
Yeah. I'd say a ring gives you a good shot to get into the Hall of Fame, yes.
Okay.
Especially if you were a major player, especially if you weren't the 12th man, if you were one of the starting five, absolutely.
I see what you're saying, Chris. Here's my thing. I don't know how much love for that fucking going to work Pistons era team there actually was in the NBA and in the media, because it seems like they were not as bad as the Bad Boys era Pistons, but it seems like they're almost an afterthought, even though they went to 2 championships. They won 1. They went to 6 straight Eastern Conference finals. That seems to get buried in the history books. No one really brings it up. I mean, that's a hell of a run.
Yeah, he was part of that shit too. I mean, yeah, that's.
My thing is, I think if they're going to put 1 or 2 people from that team on, it's going to be Chauncey and probably
Rip
Ben.
Big Ben. Yeah.
Or Sheed.
Ben was at least defensive player of the year.
And kind of like they do with the 84 Tigers. Okay, we'll put Jack Morris and we'll put Alan Trammell in. Now shut up about the 84 Tigers. Meanwhile, Lou Whitaker's stats, career-wise, are better than most second basemen in the Hall of Fame. But Lou Whitaker didn't have a good relationship with the press.
Well, I guess the blah blah blah. The Basketball Hall of Fame, is the press involved in that? Like the baseball writers are with
To be
baseball.
honest with you, I don't know. But well, anyways, there's only 3 more names. I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't know who any of these people are. Kevin Martin,
Yeah, I don't know who that is.
Got me.
Kurt Henrich,
Nope.
Kurt Heinrich.
and I'm sure I'm not pronouncing this right. Karen Butler, Caron Butler, Caro.
Karan.
Karan. Okay, I knew. See, Karan Butler, I have heard of. So 2 of the 3, I'm like, I don't know what the fuck those guys are. But I haven't heard enough of Karan Butler to be like, oh yeah, he's definitely going to be in the Hall of Fame one day.
Yeah, same here.
I mean,
Kobe's a lock.
Tim Duncan's a lock.
Tim Duncan's a lock. I think Chris Bosh is a lock. We'll agree to disagree on that one, Ice. I think Tayshaun, will he get in his first year? No. I think he'll get in eventually.
Me too. Kevin Garnett, I think, should be first ballot.
even if he's not, I see him getting in eventually.
Most definitely. Well, not just because of the championships, but he started the big 3.
Dude, didn't he play for like 30 years? Or at least it felt like it.
Played for a minute.
Elton Brand played till 2 years ago. Jesus Christ. And he was never on the Lakers. Totally wrong on that one. He was a Bull. He was a Clipper. He was a 76er. He was a Dallas Maverick. He was a Atlanta Hawk, and then he ended with the Sixers.
Yeah, I remember him with the 76ers. That's who I remember him with the most.
But yeah, never went to any finals. Never. Yeah, no, he doesn't get in. 2-time All-Star. Yeah. He'd be a maybe. He'd be like an eventually.
Like, to me, if you haven't won a championship and you're going to get in, you got to be like Charles Barkley level, Allen Iverson level. You know what I'm saying? Like, the point where, even non-fans know who the fuck you are because of what you did on the court.
All of his awards were in 2000 and 2006. Those were apparently his best seasons. He was a 2-time NBA All-Star in 2006 and 2002. 2002's the outlier. All-NBA second team, 2006. NBA Co-Rookie of the Year, 2000. NBA All-Rookie First Team, 2000. NBA Sportsmanship Award, 2006. Don't see any All-Stars in there. Oh, no, wait. First thing I read. Duh. Never mind. But still, twice. Yeah, no finals appearances, no playoff appearances. Yeah. Yeah, no, I wouldn't put this guy in. Never even got to the finals or the playoffs.
All right. Well, we got a little bit of news coming from the baseball world.
Yeah. Besides,
that has a little bit of a hometown for us slant to it.
Before we go, if anybody cares, the Dodgers clinched the NL West tonight. So, a couple weeks we'll be talking playoff baseball.
Isn't it pretty much the Dodgers, Houston, and the Yankees? All 3 neck and neck for the best record in the league this year.
Stand by.
I'm pretty sure.
While you're standing by, you know what's funny about that is Houston got rocked by the Athletics, 20-5.
The answer is yes, Rich.
20 to motherfucking 5.
Yeah, but by the team right behind them in the standings, it's not like Seattle laid 20-5 on them.
All right, you ready for this?
Mm-hmm.
Detroit Tigers said, "Fuck you, Joe Boo. I do it myself," and beat the Yankees 12-11.
You mean the Yankees were probably resting everybody?
And the Tigers who are desperately trying not to set the or tie or break the American League record for losses in a season.
They won 43, so isn't that match in 2003?
I don't know off the top of my head. They had 119 losses in 2003. Add up 119, 43. That's 162. So
yeah, so they might. They're still the worst team in the fucking league. They're still 43 and 100. They had 100 losses this year. Good God.
But yeah, Red Sox fired Dave Dombrowski less than a year after winning a title with them.
That's cold.
Which is interesting because a lot of the complaints we had here in Detroit, apparently they had in Boston, and just Boston doesn't suffer this bullshit as easily as Detroit Tigers did, apparently. A lot of the criticism I'm hearing is that he basically emptied their farm system to get the players that he got to win the World Series, and he never put together a lockdown bullpen.
They still have a winning record. They're 76 and 69. Is this all because they missed the playoffs?
Yeah, I mean, when this on the 9th, so that's what, yesterday when this article was written. As of yesterday, they were 17 and a half games behind the New York Yankees in the AL East, which I guess in Sox Nation is enough to get you canned.
I guess.
Well, I would say that the Red Sox feud with the Yankees is bigger than State with Michigan, I think.
Oh, God, yeah.
They have a better record than 19 other teams in the league, and he got fired.
Yeah, but if you're that far behind the pinstripes, you got to go.
They're in the top third of the league.
Dude, Harbaugh beat almost every other team except Ohio State last year, and people are like, oh, fuck that guy.
Oh, we'll get to that. There's reasons for that now.
Yeah, there are. Yeah, there are.
But I think them, as much as a fan of him as I wasn't in Detroit, and I thought it was time for him to move on, I think he got jobbed in Boston. Like 2 seasons, and one of them he gave you a title. That's cold. That's almost as cold as it's almost as dirty as the Redskins did AP this weekend. But we'll get to that. Like, yeah, man, it sucks.
Well, I guess
sure he'll land somewhere.
Apparently, hiring Alex Cora, trading for Chris Sale, Craig Kimbrell, and signing JD Martinez and David Price. David Price seems to be a sticking point here. He's had a solid return, but not the type of return expected from a $217 million deal. He has $96 million remaining on the final 3 years of his contract. We know all about that. Having players play out their, Dave Dombrowski penned contract here in Detroit. Sale signed a 5-year, $145 million contract extension in spring training. It doesn't begin until next season.
And isn't he injured? Isn't he done for the year?
Yeah, he has a left elbow issue. So 3 players are going to cost the Red Sox a combined $79 million for the next 3 seasons.
Oh, but Al Alvarez keeping his job. That's what mystifies me. Dombrowski's getting let loose with a winning record. Al Alvarez is going to go 43 and 100, and we'll see you next season. I don't understand baseball anymore.
Does this put Dombrowski at okay? He had his run with the Marlins. He brought in Leland in '97. They won the World Series. The next year they blew the team up. They rebuilt the team. Then you had their 2003 World Series title. By then he had already came to Detroit. He had the run he had in Detroit. He was hired in 2015 by the Red Sox. Won a championship there last year. Now he's out there. Where else does he go? I mean, it seems like, dude,
pick
you're 63.
Under 500 team.
Yeah, you're 63. You're no longer a spring chicken. You have a reputation of overpaying players and contracts that fuck over the team on the back end, and you can't build a bullpen to save your life. The Yankees aren't hiring. The Dodgers aren't hiring. Houston ain't hiring. Chicago ain't hiring.
Cleveland.
Well, the Cubs ain't hiring. You know what I'm saying? So yeah,
Cleveland. Maybe he'll be the guy that gets Cleveland over the hump. It's wild and reckless speculation, irresponsible even on my part. But it's an American League team. It's a division he's familiar with.
Well,
yeah, but he's already signed all the good, talented players to long-term contracts.
You're right. There's no more talented players in the MLB. He should just quit.
Well, he's not getting Christian Yelich.
Nope. Neither are the Braves. He is done as of tonight. Brewers, Braves, whatever. It's all going to be the team that loses to the Dodgers. Doesn't matter.
Well, yeah, I think his Dombrowski's days of being relevant, being considered a top of the heap general manager, I I don't know. I kind of think they're over with.
Maybe Miami hires him back. You can finish your career where you started it.
God, that's a shit show down there. I'll
Better
tell you
record
what.
than the Tigers.
Yeah, but if he goes down there and he ends up playing for fucking Jeter and the rest of the fucking people that own that team.
I keep forgetting about that.
Yeah, he'll be persona non grata in Boston for the rest of his fucking life.
Oh, that's right.
Don't matter you won us a World Series. Fuck you. You went and slept with the enemy afterwards. They take that shit serious.
Yeah. So serious they booted him a year after he won him a title.
Well, I mean, look at Roger Clemens. Leaves
Yeah.
Boston, goes to Toronto, eventually ends up in New York. They still despise his ass out there, you know. And he didn't Wade Boggs go to New York for a while,
Yes.
and then finished his career in Tampa. So, yeah, because I remember when they won the World Series, he was riding a fucking police horse in Yankee Stadium. You know they had to piss off the fucking Red Sox fans, but. All right, well, let's move on to football, and let's just get this over with. What in the what? How anyone who considers themselves a Wolverine fan can be okay with that damn near abortion of a game against Army? I will never understand the excuses and the bullshit. Well, they held Army to their least plays per
But it's Army.
per play since 2015, and Army almost beat a good team last year, but they didn't. And
My answer to all these people would be like, it's fucking Army. All right? They're good at killing people, bad at football. That's how it goes.
Dude, I was fully expecting them to lose that game. And part of me was like, good, lose it. Show the Emperor has no clothes.
Well, they kind of did anyway.
Yeah, but the Michigan Slappies, they're fine. And here's the deal. When I hear a Michigan fan say that, you know what I'm hearing? You're fine with mediocrity.
Yep.
You're fine winning 8 to 10 games a season, playing a somewhat important, bowl game that they'll get a lot of eyes on it. Never going to the Big Ten championship, never getting into the college football playoffs. You're just fine with being the better of the also-rans. Maybe in the top 10% of the also-rans who are never going to take that next step. And if that's what you want, that's all you care about, then yeah, you should be happy with fucking Harbaugh. But he wasn't brought in here to do that. He was brought in here to turn this fucking team around. This is the season for him to do this shit. You have essentially a coach who's coaching for his career, for his job at Ohio State. All your big games are at home this season. You couldn't ask for the stars to align better for you. And supposedly he got his quarterback that he wanted. What more do you need to give this man? Oh, and by the way, he's the third highest paid coach in the entire NCAA at $9 million a year.
And he has a lifetime contract.
I mean, it's no secret. I'm not a huge fan of Harbaugh. Like when he came here, you know what? I gave him the benefit of the doubt. Yeah, he did work a little bit of magic out in Stanford. He did take, an NFL team to 3 straight NFC championship games. Mm-hmm. Made a Super Bowl one year. His resume was solid, but I don't want to hear about his overall record now that he's been at Michigan. Well, he has a good winning percentage. Yeah, against who?
Yeah.
Let's be honest.
What have you done for me lately?
It's not even lately. What have you ever done since you've been here? What are you, 1-9 against your rivals? You've never beat a team ranked higher than you?
Has he beaten Ohio State?
No.
No, he hasn't. He beat Michigan.
He
beat Michigan State, excuse me.
So he's beat State once and Ohio State 0 times. Great job.
I mean, it really is kind of opening my eyes, and I did hear. Granted, he's a Michigan hater, our Detroit's own Mike Valenti, but he brought up a good point. He goes, "This is Bo Schembechler version 2.0."
That is a good analysis.
You're not going to win a national championship. You're going to get spanked in most of the bowl games you go to, but you can rally around him because he's the type of man that Michigan football fans love.
He's a Michigan man.
But you couldn't say that about Bo because he came from Ohio State. But You get my point. And it's like,
well, I look at it this way, Rich. Yeah, it was really close against Army. It was what the fuckins on his first game. Here's the facts. And I'm going to sound like Chris. He hasn't lost yet. A win is a win. So right now, he has a chance to go the distance. He still has the chance to beat his rivals. He still has a chance to go and play for a national title.
If you needed overtime to beat Army, good luck against Ohio State. Good luck against Michigan State if you needed overtime to beat Army.
But the fact remains he still has a chance.
I mean, I could buy a lotto ticket and have a chance at winning the lotto, but am I going to?
I didn't say it was a good chance. I said the man had a chance. I personally think that a lot of people this year are going to be fucked when they hit, anybody with any kind of a team.
I'll tell you this. 21st, they have to go to Wisconsin, which has been a house of horrors for Michigan for quite a while now. If he loses that game, get the fuck out my face, dude. I don't want to hear no more of this. He's not on the hot seat. If you are a Michigan fan and he's not on the hot seat in your mind, then you are a pathetic fan. You honestly, you just want to go to a bowl game at the end of the season. That's it. As long as we're playing sometime around New Year's Day, we're fine. And that's bullshit. That's not what he was brought here to do. If he was brought here to be mediocre, then he succeeded. But he wasn't brought here for that. I mean, I could see them losing to Wisconsin easily. Rutgers, Iowa, Illinois, they should win those games. Then they got to go to Penn State.
They're going to lose to Penn State.
Iowa's no joke this year. Iowa's got a pretty decent defense.
Yes, they do.
Then they got Notre Dame coming to the Big House. Next, the week after Penn State. Then Maryland. Then they got Michigan State coming to the Big House. Then Indiana, and then Ohio State comes to the Big House. So basically what I'm sitting here doing is I'm looking at every ranked team they play from here on out, except for Maryland. I'm basically calling it a loss. Mm-hmm. Maryland and Iowa. I think they can beat Iowa. I understand Iowa has a good defense, but I think they can beat Iowa. I'm not saying it's going to be a blowout because I don't think I don't know if this team's capable of blowing anybody out in its current incarnation. I just don't.
They should have the last 2 weeks. It's college preseason. It's when you're supposed to blow people out.
Exactly.
And State did what they were supposed to do, but yeah, great. You did it against Western. Let's do it against a real team.
I remember that, what was it, 2016 game against Rutgers where, people were during the game were making memes from The Simpsons. Stop. You're going to kill him. He's taken enough, and it's a picture of his head on a Simpsons character kicking another Simpsons character wearing a Rutgers helmet. It's like, yeah, that's what you're supposed to do with Middle Tennessee State and Army. 21-40, 21-24, overtime. It's unacceptable. It's not what you were brought here for. And there's no more excuses if these aren't his guys. His 5th season as a coach here.
Wow, already?
Yeah.
It's been 5 years? Wow.
2015.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, these are your guys now, buddy. You've had a whole college cycle.
So I guess I pretty much resigned myself to. And here's, like, they were talking on the local sports station, and they talked to someone in the program, and they said, off the record, because apparently that's another thing. You can't criticize the emperor because if he finds out, there's going to be hell to pay, which right there tells me that that's not a very good environment that those people are working in, to where if they can't look at him and be like, yo, aren't we supposed to be a little bit better against Army and fucking Middle Tennessee State than we are? But if you say that's your job, you're working for an asshole at that point. The first person that got up to the podium and should have said, yeah, we won and it was ugly and I'm not happy about it and these motherfuckers better get ready for 3-a-days in full pads should have been Jim Harbaugh. Instead, he gets up there and tries to fucking cherry pick all the flowery bits and act like, oh, well, this was a good test. Army should never be a test to a team like Michigan.
Hey, he's busy. He's got a podcast to do.
But yeah,
3 days when he's got a podcast to record.
Apparently from 1 to 10 in the program, 10 being the hot seat, 1 being the complete happiness with him. This person who spoke on the condition of anonymity said, yeah, he's about a 2. 3 tops.
Wow. So he ain't fucking going anywhere.
Not unless he walks.
Cool.
And I mean that's the bitch of it. What happens if he does lose to Wisconsin, Penn State, Notre Dame, Michigan State, and Ohio State this season, and the fans start coming down on him, and the press starts turning on him, the press that are in Michigan's pocket, by the way, and he decides to walk because, hey, I don't like all this criticism. I didn't come here for this. Then he gets to walk away with this righteous indignation like, I was treated like shit out there. No, you weren't. He's been handled with kid gloves. I've heard more about fucking D'Antonio being on the hot seat than Harbaugh for the last 5 years. Seriously? Who's been to the college football playoffs? Who's been to the Big Ten championship games? And he's on the hot seat, yet Harbaugh gets a pass? Fuck this. But then again, I got to take off the maize and blue colored, tinted glasses and just realize this is the same fucking fan base who worshiped Bo Schembechler and hated Lloyd Carr, and Lloyd Carr got him a fucking national championship.
Yeah. Never understood that at all. He got you where Bo didn't get you. Why do you hate him so much?
And the first thing they'll bring up is Appalachian State. Oh, so when you finally had browbeaten a man to the point where he had 1 foot out the door already, that he knew it was going to be his last season, and he just said, fuck it. You guys want to act like children? Fine. Do whatever the fuck you want to do. And half the team shows up still drunk from the night before and loses to App State. He gets the blame for it. Really? I mean, you're telling me Bo never had a misstep? Bo never did any dumb shit?
And Lloyd's brought Michigan the only national championship while we've all been sucking oxygen.
I was going to say, Michigan's never really been, Michigan nor Michigan State, never really been all about Big Ten championship titles. I'm sorry, national titles. They never cared about national titles.
That's the infamous quote from Bo Schembechler. I'm here to win Big Ten titles. No, you're here to win national championships, okay?
Stop shooting for the middle.
Bo was hired in the 60s. During his career here, such football powerhouses, when he was hired as University of Miami and Southern Methodist University, ascended from nowhere to the top of the fucking heap. Now, granted, they cheated their asses off, but dude, before fucking Howard Schnellenberger showed up for the Canes, well, who the fuck did they have on their team? What the fuck were they known for? They were giving away fucking tickets to the games if you bought a Whopper at Burger King. Here, go to a Canes game, and people would be like, no, thank you. I'm going to wash my hair. I mean, Southern Methodist University? Who the fuck? Who? Like, seriously, dude. Whole dynasties rose and fell while he's just sitting there we'll win a Big Ten title and go get our ass kicked in the Rose Bowl.
As long as we beat Ohio State, everything's fine.
Telling you. I wish I was a bandwagon hopper, because I would just fucking pick a new fucking team and act like never rooted for Michigan. But I'm just not, I'm not that guy.
You know what, though? I hope for you, Rich, we're sitting here in 2 months talking about their undefeated season. But after Saturday, I wouldn't hold out hope for that.
It's going to be yeah.
It took you overtime to beat Army.
Yeah, we'll see about that. But I got a squirrel moment, Chris, because it's college football related. Do you know who Bob Stoops is?
Yeah. He's the coach at Oklahoma?
Was. He is now going to coach in the XFL, the Dallas Renegades.
Ooh.
Starting 2020.
Ooh.
Yeah, he coached people like, I don't know, Baker Mayfield.
Ooh. I like the fact that he's from Oklahoma and he's going to be coaching in Texas.
I just hope that check was a mighty big one.
Yeah, so do I.
Because I hope it's guaranteed, because there's no guarantee that fucking the XFL will even make it past the first season.
You know, maybe Vinnie Mac learned some lessons from 20 years ago, but we'll see.
I'm highly doubting this. Highly, highly doubting this.
You know, he's older, wiser. Maybe he's had enough of Goodell shit. Who knows?
Hey, I know this podcast is super stoked for next year when the XFL breaks.
Well, it's extra football. Why would I not be
Like,
stoked?
that's exactly what I'm saying. Because we don't have to talk about shit but football all year long now.
I mean, if it's like the AAF, though, I mean, come on. We both were like, this is terrible. This is when we were watching it. I fell asleep. I fell asleep. I watched like 2 series, and then I woke up at like 3 a.m. Oh, what? I'm on the couch. Like, yeah, let's just hope the XFL's more exciting.
Well, I mean, are they going to bring out the fucking WWE superstars again?
I just hope they learn from their mistakes in the past. You know, don't put the fucking nicknames on the jersey. Don't put the camera in the cheerleader locker room. Just try to actually do straight up.
Whoa. Leave the camera in the cheerleader's locker room.
It's 2019, you sex criminal.
Label it now. I'm just saying. Leave it there.
Yeah, hopefully they just put together a straight up football league and give it a shot instead of trying to make it the WWE football league, which is essentially what it was 20 years ago.
The reason I brought that up is because the irony is Harbaugh is you know, he did some things. He went some places. Like we said, he has a resume. This is a coach that took Oklahoma to the promised land, has a fucking Heisman trophy winner, and he leaves all of that to go to the XFL. And we're stuck with a guy who can barely, by 1 point, beat Army.
Hey, maybe it was a big fucking check. Maybe Rich was right. Maybe it had a couple extra zeros and the NCAA cut him. Like, all right.
Motherfucker better showed up like the prize patrol from fucking Publishers Clearinghouse.
I'll coach his shit for a year, then I'll go back to college. Maybe he tried to get in the NFL, and they said no. Maybe this is his shot at trying to coach pro ball. We don't know Bob Stoops.
It'd be fucked up if Dallas Renegades win.
Be fucked up if that league goes a second season.
That's
all of this is making me think of the movie Basketball.
Yeah, it's
in the South of the Southeast West Division.
Well, I've thought more about basketball lately with a lot of the touchdown celebrations. When they get like 3 or 4 guys involved, I just think of those dudes river dancing in basketball. Yeah. Like what Cleveland had one. It was like Njoku. It was like 3 or 4 of them. It was some kind of choreographed fucking dance. Jesus Christ, you're losing. You're not allowed to dance. You dance after you're winning.
Oh God, who was infamous for that here in Detroit? They'd be down 3 touchdowns. He'd get a first down and start fucking celebrating and shit and doing a first down sign like he's fucking oh shit. God damn it. Michael Irvin. God damn it. Who was the player that we traded him to Dallas? The wide receiver.
Roy
Williams.
Yeah, Roy Williams. Rookie of the year. Roy Williams. Yeah. ROI.
Like, jackass, you're down 3 touchdowns. Stop celebrating.
Yeah. What are you celebrating?
You know, it's where I agree with the scene in Moneyball when Brad Pitt walks in and takes the fucking baseball bat to the fucking boombox and he goes, "Hear that? That's what losing sounds like." It's just dead silence. It's like, what are you dumbasses celebrating?
Yeah.
Sport G.
ChristopherMedia.net.
It's the divisional round, and you can follow all the action at BetOnline.net. On Saturday, LA visits the frozen tundra of Green Bay, while Baltimore and Buffalo face off with their electric third-year quarterbacks. On Sunday, and after winning their first playoff game in 26 years, Cleveland meets last year's champs. In the late game, 2 legendary future Hall of Fame QBs square off as Tampa visits the Big Easy. Check out all the action this week at BetOnline.net as teams take one step closer to the championship. Always available online or your mobile device. Visit BetOnline.net today. Bring the game home at BetOnline.net. It's the divisional round, and you can follow all the action at BetOnline.net. On Saturday, LA visits the frozen tundra of Green Bay, while Baltimore and Buffalo face off with their electric third-year quarterbacks. On Sunday, and after winning their first playoff game in 26 years, Cleveland meets last year's champs. In the late game, 2 legendary future Hall of Fame QBs square off as Tampa visits the Big Easy. Check out all the action this week at BetOnline.net as teams take one step closer to the championship. Always available online or your mobile device. Visit BetOnline.net today. Bring the game home at BetOnline.net. It's the divisional round, and you can follow all the action at betonline.net. On Saturday, LA visits the frozen tundra of Green Bay, while Baltimore and Buffalo face off with their electric third-year quarterbacks. On Sunday, and after winning their first playoff game in 26 years, Cleveland meets last year's champs. In the late game, two legendary future Hall of Fame QBs square off as Tampa visits the Big Easy. Check out all the action this week at betonline.net as teams take one step closer to the championship. Always available online or your mobile device. Visit betonline.net today. Bring the game home at betonline.net.
ChristopherMedia.net.
Sporgy.
Do we dive into the meat potatoes now?
Well, I was going to say, we've already strayed into it, so let's just dive in head first. Talk about week one.
I want to say this because it's completely on YouTube. For the first time in a long time, that wasn't a bye week for the Lions. I listened to none of the game on the radio. Didn't watch 1 second of the game. Haven't even seen highlights of that fucking game.
With you. I followed it on my phone. I had some errands to do, and then I recorded the Weedsman with Aaron. I was watching Gamecast on my ESPN app. But yeah,
I was in Kansas City all day Sunday.
I mean, first of all, I've been hurt before. But second too is the Cardinals. Ooh. Let me tune into that one. Like I wanted to watch many other games. None of them were Detroit versus Arizona. I was not juiced for the Lions season opener. First time in a while.
Man, there is so much to talk about this first week. We're going to have to go game by game.
Well,
let's start with the Lions. Let's start with the Lions in Arizona then.
Yeah.
Well, you guys made such a mockery of me for picking them. I wasn't wrong.
The sister kisser. You weren't right either. Neither
wrong.
Rich or I were wrong or right. But I mean, SOL. Because why? Because they didn't play the whole game. You scored what? 1 touchdown in the second half?
Well,
Kyler Murray
you're
looked like
100 on that.
Kyler Murray looked like a pile of shit the first half, and he looked like a world beater the second half.
They are definitely, absolutely 100% same old Lions because they did not have the energy to go the distance. They shot their load in the first half, tried to come out and maintain, and couldn't. There were people bending over, hands on knees, taking a knee. In the middle of the third quarter, I was like, oh, my God. You just had 15 minutes to sit down and rest, and you're already tired? No.
Well, if this will tell you anything about how the team feels about that performance, the Lions let go of their offensive quality control coach and replaced them with Ben Johnson, who's from the Miami Dolphins.
Cool. So it's looking up. Oh, boy.
And the only thing I heard about the game that really left an impression on me besides T.J. Hockenson setting was the rookie record for
most
receptions for a tight end.
Yeah, ever. And I should say ever in their debut.
Is the clock mismanagement and the fact that you had Stafford over on the sideline screaming at his head coach, at his coaches, trust me, trust me, trust me. That's an 11-year veteran. If you don't trust an 11-year veteran, what do you... Yeah. Why didn't draft a quarterback before it gets to this point? I don't understand. This is what I don't understand. What the fuck? How do you mismanage the clock like that, and then you don't even fucking give your fucking franchise quarterback a chance to go out there and try to win the game for you?
Isn't Patricia from the
not
Belichick
just a franchise?
Go ahead, Earl.
It's not just a franchise quarterback. It's a quarterback with a hell of a lot of fourth quarter comebacks. I mean, we could say elite, not elite, yada, yada, yada. But the kid can come back and do his thing in the fourth quarter. I'm just saying.
Yeah, in 2017, he sure could.
Well, come on, Chris, be fair. It's not like he was playing the Patriots here.
Yeah.
I mean, if he was going to come back, he historically comes back against teams that are shit, and games mean nothing. The infamous game that solidified his toughness here in Detroit was against the Browns when he dislocated his non-throwing shoulder and still finished the game. I mean, you see Lions fans trot that out like it's a Super Bowl victory whenever his toughness is questioned. And it's like, you beat the Browns, but you had to come back and beat them. They're the Browns. And not the 2019 Browns. No one had any expectations for these Browns back in 2009.
Oh, my God. Wait till we get to that one.
And then isn't Matt Patricia from the Bill Belichick coaching tree? You don't think Bill trusts Tom? I mean,
Absolutely.
Tom Brady's been in the league twice as long as Matt Stafford, but he's in year 11. I'd trust him.
Yeah, that would put Brady at 2011.
Mm-hmm.
His 11th year in the. Granted, he won some Super Bowls.
He's done some things,
but still, no. I have no interest in watching the Lions. I'm so glad I have the ability to watch other games because I can't do it anymore this year. Like it's bad enough that if I listen to local sports radio, if I listen to 2 hours, I have to listen to an hour and 45 minutes of Lions talk and then hear 15 minutes of actual teams worth talking about because of the geography of where I live. I refuse to watch this shit. This is a horrible product. This is a joke of a fucking team. I don't know if they end up with a losing record, how do you have Patricia and Bob Quinn still here at the end of this season? Oh, that's right. Because Martha Ford's running the fucking team.
Yep.
Hey, you guys take solace in the fact that my picks are already wrong. I'll be 1-14-1.
Well,
yeah. Wasted enough time on this shit game.
Oh, shit. Brain fart. Rookie quarterback for Cardinals.
Kyler Murray.
Yeah, Lions continue their annual.
Let's make a rookie look awesome.
Yeah,
you're the man.
Yeah. Yeah, so, I mean, the rest of the league will bring them back down to, earth, but sure as shit looked like a Pro Bowler that game.
Yeah.
Second half, anyway.
All right, so what game we want to move on to next?
Should we start with Thursday night?
Yeah, let's
Chicago.
go there.
I told you, number 12. Although I didn't pick them.
Oh, bullshit.
I did not pick them, but
number 12, nothing.
As long as number 12's out there, they got a shot.
Whatever. Where the fuck did Chicago's offense go? Chicago's defense showed up, held number 12 and the rest of the Packers to 10.
Oh, well, they shipped Jordan Howard off to Philadelphia. He was a big part of their offense last year.
Well, they got to find out something because that was terrible. I mean, absolutely horrid.
They added a rookie running back. They added no receivers.
You know what I love about the Packers, though? They've earned so much, carte blanche that even after a game like that, they can walk away from it and no one's talking about how poor the fucking offense performed. They're all talking about, Packers defense. They finally have a defense for Aaron Rodgers. They could go all the way to the Super Bowl this year.
No.
And I'm playing like that on offense? Did you watch the same game I did?
Yeah, definitely wasn't one of the best performances, but they got it done.
A W is a W, but there's a lot of questions. The Packers have no offense. The Bears have no offense. So I'll give it to you, Chris. Number 12 was the difference maker.
The Packers got number 12. They got a chance.
My God, Bears, do something.
Well, Khalil Mack can't do everything, right?
Yeah, he did everything he was supposed to.
And it turns out if week 1 plays out like it did, they're not going to. Either one of them's not going to be the threat in the NFC North.
Nope.
So let's move on to Sunday. Yeah, I know you've been waiting to talk about this game, Earl, so let's just go. Tennessee at Cleveland. The off-season Super Bowl champ, Cleveland Browns.
I was talking to somebody. I went to B-Dubs while I was up in Kansas City, and there was a bunch of Philly fans. The Eagles fans were just all out in this place. And the Browns game was on, and I was watching. I'm like, what the fuck? And without missing a beat, an Eagles fan turned around and said they could put anybody on that team they want. You've got to remember something. And it's something, it made total sense when he said it. He goes, you can put anybody you want on that team. You have to remember, they're still the Browns.
Oh, come on.
I was like, wow. And then watch the rest of the game. I was like, yeah, that's the fucking Browns.
That's
Holy
a cop
shit.
out, though, because on paper, that team is talented as fuck.
On paper, sure. Where's the results, though, Chris?
It's week 1, dude. It is week 1.
Against Tennessee.
There are 16 more weeks to go.
It's week 1 against Tennessee, not against Kansas City, not against the big, not against
put up 43
Cowboys.
points. So I'd be looking at Cleveland's defense and going, what's going on here, fellas?
I will say this, though. Congratulations to the Browns for not winning their first game of the season for 15 years straight now. Way to keep the streak alive.
43 points against, but only 13 for. the talent that everybody's talking about is on the offense. 13 points?
Baker Mayfield threw for almost 300 yards. Come on, man.
13 points. I don't give a fuck if he threw for 1,000 yards, 13 points.
Tennessee, the rushing leader in this game, had 84 yards. That was Derrick Henry. So obviously the problem is on the ground.
You think Nick Chubb's the problem?
The opposing running back beat him with 84 yards. Maybe. You couldn't beat 84 yards?
Really?
You couldn't beat 84 yards?
You can't get more than 13 points.
Man, I gotta agree with Earl on this one, dude.
You have the pair from fucking LSU. You have the Heisman winning trophy quarterback.
Who threw for 285? It's not exactly a shitty day.
But how many did he throw into the end zone? Because that's what really matters.
Dude, Julio Jones is one of the premier wide receivers ever, and until last year couldn't get into the fucking end zone.
Well, here's my question. Was this a wake-up call? Was this cold water in their face? Don't plan your fucking victory parade just yet. You actually have to play the season. Or is this demoralizing, and this is what we can expect to see from the rest of the season?
I'm going to have to go with the option B. I mean, everything was set. All your players are there. All your quote-unquote talent is there. You're at home. You're facing the Titans.
I think Tennessee just got more up for this game than Cleveland did. I think at the end of the season, everything's going to be fine in Cleveland. There's too much talent for this team to be a pile of shit.
Well, and then again, as we said in this podcast before, there's way too many egos there, too.
See, that's
a lot of shit to manage. That's
what I'm thinking. Is this going to cause trouble in the clubhouse with finger pointing and, well, if you'd have gave me the ball, if you'd have gave me the ball, if you'd have gave me the ball, because that's usually with wide receivers, that's how that shit works. Their egos come first, reality comes a distant second. I mean, go back and watch America's game with when they had Peyton Manning on when he won in Indy, and he's talking about third, fourth string receiver coming in. He goes, and he always brought plays that of course highlighted him. And he's like, look, if you're Marvin Harrison, I'll listen to you. Until then, shut up and go sit down. So, like, seriously, dude, go return a punt. Go play on special teams. What the fuck?
I think it's week one. I think it's too early to declare him dead. I think Tennessee got more up for this game. I think Cleveland might have counted their chickens before they were hatched. There's too much talent on this roster.
No, I can't go with you on this, Hoss.
Why?
Because
of one game?
Yes, because if that was the case, at halftime you could have made your adjustment and finished out strong. Could have come close to winning. You didn't have to win. Make it close. They didn't even.
So then is Atlanta a pile of shit because they didn't win? Is Carolina a pile of shit because they didn't win?
Atlanta is done. They need to rebuild. I told you that before. You didn't listen.
Wow. So you're making all of these sweeping statements based off of one game.
Yep.
One game, Ice. It is week
one. I
one.
called that shit before that one game was fucking played.
Remember last year, week one, and the year before that, week one, Patriots lost. Yeah, it's over for them. They're done.
Mm-hmm.
Well, hold on a sec. Can I do my best Ice impersonation?
Go for
it. I called it. I told you. This is the week for Mariota to step up. I told you. No one listened to me, though. I told you.
I guess, my more problem is I don't buy Tennessee. Tennessee.
No, I absolutely don't either.
It has always been, they'll play out of their mind one week and then they'll lay an egg the next. They're not consistent. I think the Marcus Mariota experiment needs to end down there, quite honestly. He has proven to you he is just going to be a big old pile of average. Like, I'm buying more I'm not buying Tennessee. I'm buying more Cleveland. I'm not buying Tennessee's. It's a week one aberration to me. They probably had this game circled on their calendar because of all the moves that were made in the offseason and just went in fired up.
Well, I mean, looking at what happened week one, Cleveland is not the only team that is left going, what the fuck?
Who else is there, Ice?
Oh, fucking a lot of people. We'll get to the other games, but a lot of people
Cool,
are.
Can we? Is this going to take 9 hours?
No. I'll tell you one person who isn't. Patrick Mahomes. How you doing? Right back in the same fucking seat you left.
Yeah.
Chiefs looked firing on all cylinders.
However, they played Jacksonville.
And?
They played Jacksonville. Sammy Watkins at 200 yards. That's happened never. They played Jacksonville.
Yeah, if you had Sammy Watkins on fantasy, hope you started him.
They played a team with a losing record from last year. Like, yes, they looked good, but let me see you do the same thing against the Patriots. Let me see you do the same thing against Minnesota. Yes, he looked great. They looked great, but again, Jacksonville.
All right, well, let's move on.
With a second-string quarterback. Yeah. Baltimore and Miami. Another game I'm not getting excited about.
Oof.
Congratulations. You beat the fuck out of the NFL's punching bag this year.
Yeah. Here's the story that needs to be talked about with that game. Dolphins suck so much, players are requesting trades out of there.
Out of Miami.
They're calling their agents and saying, I'm not playing for this team all season. Get me out of here. I mean, and it's the sports media is basically saying, this is Miami tanking on purpose. This is what this is.
The team sucks, and I don't like the weather. Let me move.
Well, I mean, can you kind of blame them?
No.
I mean, if the unspoken, mission statement is we're going to lose on purpose to get the best draft picks we can, how's that help my career that at any moment can end? Get me the fuck out of here. Why don't you just hire some jackasses off the street and let me go play with someone who actually, wants to win a game?
Yeah, I'm with you there.
There's plenty of idiots. You could go to any bar in Miami and say, who wants to play for the Dolphins, and you'll get plenty of fucking people for a walk-on tryout. Trust me.
Yep.
You want to lose, you can lose that way and not risk fucking actual athletes' careers. And I mean, like, if all the reports I heard are factual, and this is their unspoken mission statement, this has now become an acceptable tactic in almost every sport.
Yep.
And if this starts becoming a normal thing in football, you know what's going to happen, guys? Draft lottery.
Cool.
Mm-hmm.
Which is, I've always thought, is the most retarded way to do shit. But yeah, I could see it heading that way if this becomes the normal.
Yeah, I absolutely don't like it at all. Draft lottery is bullshit in my mind, but you'll have people that argue against it till they're blue in the face and pass out from lack of oxygen. So whatever. But yeah, dude, when I said that they're going to have the worst record, I had no idea that their mission statement was, we're going to have the worst record in football this season. I was just looking at what they had.
Hey, how about Lamar Jackson throwing for 324 after everybody knocking him, saying the guy can't throw?
You know what, though? Left, right, or sideways, if it was Miami or not, that kid can throw. That kid's got a rocket of an arm. I watched some of the highlights. Holy shit.
Threw for 324.
Let's just put it this way. Baltimore believed in him enough to send fucking Flacco packing.
Yeah. Flacco was a starter at the beginning of last year, and he got hurt. He got Brady.
No, he's still a starter.
Yeah, not on that team.
Oh, we will so get there. Anyways.
Atlanta and Minnesota. Minnesota looking like the team I thought they should have looked like last year.
Atlanta is looking like the team I told you this year.
With Matt Ryan throwing for 304, I'm not pronouncing them dead just yet.
Okay.
They might have run into a good team in your realm of possibility, or it's just everyone who lost this week suck.
A lot of questions this week. That's what I have.
Of course, it's week 1. This season's really not going to start taking shape for another 3 or 4 weeks before everyone starts separating themselves from the pack. Buffalo at the Jets.
I lost that by 1 fucking point.
Well, it's because you picked Buffalo, dummy.
No, it's because I picked Jets.
Jim Kelly's been gone for a long fucking time.
I picked the Jets.
Oh. Well,
anyways, the Jets got so mad about it that they fired their kicker. They replaced their kicker. They did the infamous thing where in the interviews afterwards, they asked if they have confidence in him. The coach looked directly at the guy and said, "We'll see how the week goes."
I think the one thing about it. Go ahead.
No, I'm just saying. Then when you know it, replaced him. See ya.
For their old
Step
kicker.
into my office. You're fucking fired.
Right, the one thing that people aren't talking about this game that I noticed was that Jets defense looks pretty badass. Like, they were
It's
good
the
last
Bills,
year. They look
dude.
like they're going to be better this year.
It's the Bills.
Yeah, but you got to keep in mind they were most of the offense came from the Jets defense. I think they look all right.
Uh-huh.
We'll see. Washington at Philadelphia. It's nice the Eagles remembered there was a game in the second half.
Hey, what happened to Bell, though, for the Jets? I thought he was breaking off 50. He only got 17 carries for 60 yards.
Okay, and so you should retire. That's it.
Right. And the Eagles remembered there was a game the second half.
Yeah. And Case Keenum,
AP knew
not buying it.
AP knew there was a game. He just couldn't play in it.
Let's talk about that. He did dirty.
He did.
They did him dirty. He saved their ass in the run game last year, and then they make him a healthy scratch to start a guy who didn't even play 1 second last year. That's cold.
That's heartless. I'm not going to lie.
At least let the man dress.
Do something.
And you know what they'd say if you said that to him? This is football. It's a business.
Yeah, well, he's starting fucking this week because
Yep.
Darius Geis, shocking, injured again. The Rams at Carolina, CMC,
No shot.
the rushing and receiving leader. How does that happen? It happens when your name is Christian McCaffrey. That's how it fucking happens.
Oh, and I called it, everyone. Cam Newton did come crying at the fucking game was over.
Is he crying that he sucks? Is he
No,
crying that
it's
he has
just
no receiver core?
No, he's crying that there was no communication.
Is he crying because he knows if Christian McCaffrey gets injured, that's it for them?
He's dude.
We talked about the Chiefs at Jacksonville, the Colts at the Chargers.
Again, not a shocker.
Really? Went into overtime. Shocker to me.
Well, it was a shocker that we went in overtime, but I knew who was going to win that.
I figured
Brissett doesn't win.
I figured that Colts would put up a solid 3 points, and they made it a game. So we're gonna have to see whether Jacoby Brissett is better than we thought, or if the Chargers are gonna suck. That's what I said. It's week 1. We're not gonna know the ramifications of this stuff for a while. Like, are the Chargers on the
They
down
definitely
year?
need Gordon back.
What's that?
They need Gordon back.
Really? Austin Eckler seemed to do just fine without him.
Nah, it went into overtime.
The gentleman had quite a bit of yards, and I believe a touchdown or two. I think they're going to be all right.
Nah.
Cincinnati at Seattle. I think the surprise for everybody is Cincinnati actually fucking put up a fight.
That's what I was going to say. I was shocked that the game was as close as it was.
I wasn't shocked. I picked him to win. I lost by a fucking point.
Andy Dalton throwing 418. Get the fuck out of here. You'll do that again in 5 years.
What, on Madden? You think he's going to be in the league 5 years from now?
Right.
Starting? He's going to be next to Tony
you know
Romo.
what?
in the
I wanted
booth.
to talk to you guys about that. Do you realize that the quarterbacks are playing older and older and older, and all the receivers and running backs are retiring earlier and earlier because of the fucking rules?
Yeah, because quarterbacks will get the shit beat out of them every play.
Right.
Yes, correct. We agree. I don't know what you're trying to say here.
That's just some bullshit.
What, the guys who don't get hit all the time play in the league longer? That just sounds like common sense. The guys who get piled on repeatedly retire early. I mean, I'm not trying to jump on you, Ice. It just sounds like logic.
It is logic. It's logic to a point that you've protected these quarterbacks so damn much that they can play into their 40s, but you've let everybody else go to where they're retiring in their late 20s, early 30s.
I say so.
Used to be their prime. I'm just
Stop
saying.
watching if you don't like it.
I think it's got a lot more to do with the fact that you got a lot bigger, faster guys than you did back in the day. Yes, you could do a lot more back in the day, but let's be honest, man. Like, shit, I forget who it was. Well, maybe it was Oakland. They were talking about their offensive line. There's not a guy under fucking 300 pounds or who ran slower than a 4.5 40. Mm-hmm. That's a lot of weight to be moving that quick. You know what I'm saying? That's like...
You're like a tiny car. You're like a smart car with feet.
Yes. You know, I mean, go back and look at some of the old stuff. Yeah, they were clotheslining guys and damn near ripping their heads off because, you know, they grabbed their helmet and try to fucking spin their head around Exorcist style. But those guys weren't that fucking big and that quick. They were just ruthless. So, I mean,
yeah, Rich, but you can't touch a quarterback above his.
I'm not talking about the quarterback. I'm talking about running backs and wide receivers. I'm not talking about quarterback. Quarterbacks are fucking China dolls, dude. The NFL's made that decision a long time ago. They're the pretty boys. They're the little, what did the Living Color call them? The glamour boys. They're fierce. So that you just don't touch me. I'm the quarterback. Protect me. I mean, come on, dude. Of course they're playing in their 40s. But I think the point you're missing is for all the rule changes, supposedly, to protect players, the players who get the most contact when they touch the ball are retiring earlier and earlier. Why is that? Because the NFL's trying to fucking skew the rules to protect them. Well, they ain't doing a very good job then, are they?
No. New York at Dallas.
Well, come on now.
Yeah, no shock.
I know it says week 1, but Dallas looks like a playoff team.
Well, it looks like they got something to prove. That's for damn sure.
I mean, they did what they should have done with the Giants. Doubled them up. I mean, that is probably the best looking Dallas team since the 90s, in this podcaster's opinion.
Saquon Barkley ran for 120 yards on 11 carries. Yeah.
I told you, he's going to be the offense in New York. Him and Evan Ingram. End of list. Detroit at Arizona. Fuck that game. Here's what. San Francisco at Tampa Bay. San Francisco had the best defense in the league this week. Where the fuck that come from? It's just because they played Tampa Bay?
It's got to be. I got to say it. I picked the Bucks, but Jameis, you need to go somewhere, and it's not to the clubhouse, sir. You need to be replaced yesterday. Holy shit.
Yeah, not the best game for Captain Crablegs.
Hey, all I can say about it is I didn't expect the Bucks to win. And
like I said, I thought they had to win one.
I know this isn't a fantasy football podcast, but the school of thought I'm going with this season says that he's a shit quarterback in real life, but he's going to be throwing a whole lot because of his situation, his head coach, and they're going to be playing from behind. So don't get rid of him too quick if he's fucking throwing the ball all the time. That's all I'm saying. And they have no rushing game to speak of.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe Melvin Gordon ends up there because Ronald Jones and Peyton Barber ain't going to get it done for you, Tampa Bay.
No.
And then the Sunday night game. I mean, ouch if you're a Steelers fan.
This is what I imagine Sunday went like for Steelers fans. They were watching that Browns game, laughing their ass off, and they lost by 30. And then the Patriots took the field, and they were like, "Oh!" And the laughing. That's when the laughter died.
And then a 42-year-old man threw for 341 yards.
Sure enough.
Like,
without
is he a
their
robot?
number one receiver.
Yeah, this is the Antonio Brownless Patriots. This is, yeah. If he makes it, good God, it's just if you're in the AFC, just give up, just forfeit. Because
and if you're in the NFC, take your fucking title and go home. Don't try to go to the Super Bowl.
Well, I feel like if we need Obi-Wan to like force ghost show himself to the Chiefs and be like, "You're our only hope." You have to defeat the evil empire. You're our only hope. Just saying, man. Because I mean, I didn't think the Steelers were gonna. It's the Steelers. How many times have we been like, "Well, we don't think Steelers are going to do shit this season"? Yet they're always in the running. It seems like.
Yeah, but traditionally they do not win at Foxborough, and boy, did they not win at Foxborough this week.
They won.
Well, I mean, there's that, but again, I said it last week. They don't have anybody to play anymore. They got an old busted has-been quarterback. They traded and lost everybody else. Who they got?
They got Juju, who, if he keeps playing like he's playing, he's gonna hit that sophomore slump. Because that's what I think everyone is kind of forgetting about James Conner and Juju is that was both of their rookie seasons last year.
Yep.
Not everybody has success. Not a lot of people will have the breakout rookie seasons and then continue that success. For every Zeke Elliott there's a Chris Johnson. So, I mean, looks like the Ravens, after week 1, you ask me, looks like the Ravens are coming out of that division, but it's week 1. Because based on just 1 week, it ain't going to be Pittsburgh or Cleveland. And I don't think the Bengals have ever been in that conversation, especially without A.J. Green. Let's go to the Monday night games. Houston at New Orleans.
One more time. I called it. I told everybody, do not bet on the Houston and Saints game.
Yeah, I think we said this was going to be a shootout, and it was.
All the way to the last 4 seconds. I was winning till the last 4 seconds. God damn it.
Is it just me, or like, do the refs have something against the Saints? Because there was a couple of calls that just like that going in when there was under 2 minutes going to the half, and they were reviewing the spot of the ball. It's like they already got off. They got the first down. Okay, so you're going to negate the play. Okay, yeah, it shouldn't have been 4th down. It was a first down, and since we reviewed it, we're going to run the clock off 10 seconds.
See you 10 seconds.
Well,
and the Saints are like, we didn't even want this fucking review. You know?
and how did DeAndre Hopkins not get a penalty for his suplex? Did you guys see that tackle?
I did when he intercepted it.
Yeah, he straight up suplexed a dude. How was that not a penalty?
It was more of a power bomb, actually.
Looking like the WWF out there and shit.
Seriously, it was like, I got it. Wow.
But
I had it.
I said it during the game, and I'll say it right now. The missing piece in Houston is a running back. Duke Johnson and the ghost of Carlos Hyde are not getting you to the promised land. I'm sorry, they're not. Because if they would have, they'd have gotten the teams they were on before, Carlos Hyde, one of the 9 teams he's been on before, to the promised land. They need a run game. What was the difference between those two teams? New Orleans has Kamara.
Who came on the second half. The first half, nah, they had him. Second half, it was the Kamara show, no doubt.
I'm kind of with Rich here on this whole first half. For a lot of these guys, was really their preseason. You know, a lot of the guys we talked about didn't play dick in the preseason.
Yeah.
So first half for a lot of these guys was their preseason.
Yeah.
And then the final game, Denver at New Oakland, which is supposed to be the big coming out party for Antonio Brown, the big marquee matchup, just turned into a big, hey, it's 2 average teams going at each other.
Yeah, but still, I enjoyed this game. I was like, okay, I had no stake in either team winning, did not give a shit, and it was just like, I just want to see an entertaining game because I thought it was going to be a boring-ass just snooze fest.
See, this game put me to sleep. Maybe I was tuckered out after the the first game because that came down to the last second.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's from what I hear, Oakland's got a defense. They actually won.
That's what I'm saying. I think it was in the third quarter. I messaged you guys and I was like, "Where the fuck did this Oakland D come from?"
And that's when I fired back. Where the hell did Broncos defense go? All of a sudden, Carr's like unstoppable.
Yeah, and that was supposed to be the one bright spot for the Broncos this season. I mean, for a game, it's all relative. It's game 1. You get what I'm saying.
Von Miller's just one man.
No, that's true. That's true. And I got to wonder how much of this is, even though when we talked about the Antonio Brown situation, you know, they put on a brave face and they said all the right things to not give him a chip on his shoulder to take out to the Patriots, who look for chips to put on their shoulder. I don't know if you guys caught it, but I watched America's game about last year's Patriots. Oh my God, those fuckers walk around. They are woke flakes, that entire team. They are a bunch of fucking pussies.
Who?
They look for, the Patriots, they look for any excuse to fucking go, we're being disrespected. We're not being respected.
Well, tends to work for him, wouldn't you agree?
No, a little bit.
It does, but it's like, oh my God, you guys, you play the victim, and you're the most dominant franchise in sports in the last 20 years. Yet you're crying and playing the victim card every time you can. Seriously. I honestly think that's why the Raiders were like, they didn't say shit negative about Antonio Brown.
Well, I don't know. I think they made a great statement without him, and the fans said it.
Well, the fans don't give a fuck because they know, one, that team ain't going to be there next season, and two, they're Oakland Raider fans. Raider fans don't give a fuck, like infamously don't give a fuck.
How did Al say it? Just win, baby, win?
Pretty much. But, I mean, yeah, like I said, more entertaining than I thought it would be.
Did you see the injury that happened to the Oakland player?
The rookie, I saw. Yeah, I saw yeah. It's about the one where they took him off the field on the stretcher.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, but apparently he's been cleared to play, so it was more of a precautionary thing. It's their rookie safety. I can't remember his name, number 24. He's out for the season. And that was like, outside of the Antonio Brown nonsense on Hard Knocks, he got a lot of screen time and a lot of, old Raiders coming up to him, talking about, you need to be the leader on this team, especially on defense, blah, 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 blah. A lot of hopes riding on your back. Done for the season after one game.
Well, yeah, but
Oops.
I hope he can walk because that guy's leg came around and just crushed his neck.
No, you're still talking about the guy that got took off on the stretcher. I'm talking about the guy who ran into him. The safety who ran into him. That's when the announcers pointed out. They said, number 24. I can't remember his name off the top of my head. They were like, he can't play with that reckless abandon. This isn't college anymore. You got to have situational awareness of where other players, especially on same team, are around you and how you're fucking making contact with them. Because that was friendly fire.
Yep.
I get it. You're pumped. You're a rookie. It's your first fucking game that actually counts, that goes in the books. You're known as a hitting motherfucker. You want to be out there like a cruise missile taking people out, but you can't take out your own teammates. That ain't gonna work.
People tend to frown upon that.
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah, just a little.
Sport G.
ChristopherMedia.net.
It's the divisional round, and you can follow all the action at BetOnline.net. On Saturday, LA visits the frozen tundra of Green Bay, while Baltimore and Buffalo face off with their electric third-year quarterbacks. On Sunday, and after winning their first playoff game in 26 years, Cleveland meets last year's champs. In the late game, two legendary future Hall of Fame QBs square off as Tampa visits the Big Easy. Check out all the action this week at BetOnline.net as teams take one step closer to the championship. Always available online or your mobile device. Visit BetOnline.net today. Bring the game home at BetOnline.net.
For the ones who know that a little late is always too late. And that the clock doesn't stop just because you're missing a part. Grainger offers supplies and solutions for every industry. And our Keep Stock inventory management solutions help ensure you have the right stuff in the right place at exactly the right time. Visit Grainger.com/keepstock to learn more. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
If you look around, you'll see the world can be pretty smart. Okay, very smart. At Capella University, we think education should be smart too. That's why we're reshaping online learning with our FlexPath format. You can set your own deadlines, take classes at your own pace, even leverage your previous experience to move faster. So when it comes to earning your bachelor's degree, you know what kind of choice to make. A smart one. Visit capella.edu to learn more. Capella University. Don't just learn, learn smarter.
ChristopherMedia.net.
Sport G.
All right. Shall we get into the picks?
Let's do it.
Alrighty. Well, champion after week 1 is Rich. He has a record of 15-4-1. Batting 750. I'm in second, 13-6-1 at 650. Way down there at 600. 12-7-1 the ice. Iceman. Hey, people. We're over 500. Just saying. If you bet the games.
I'm just saying. I lost by 1 point like 4 times. I don't want to hear shit. Picking the underdog.
If my aunt had balls, she'd be my uncle. Anyway.
Bob's your uncle.
One day, week 2 will load in my fucking browser. There we go. So, week 2 of the NFL season.
The order goes like this. Let Iceman go first so he can fucking get his bullshit out the way. You and then me.
All right. So, the Thursday night game. Rivalry game. Tampa Bay heading to Carolina.
I just want to say happy birthday to myself. Because Panthers. I learned my lesson the first week.
He is the Tom Mazaway of this fucking podcast. Birthdays.
It is his birthday right now.
No, I know,
Birthday
I know,
ice.
but it's just like. Go ahead. Sorry. Fuck.
I just learned I just learned my lesson the first week. Jameis needs to go somewhere. Both quarterbacks aren't even close to par, but I'll take the Panthers.
Yeah, Panthers got CMC. Give me the Panthers.
Yeah, give me Panthers.
All right, next game up. Man, did the Bengals just stay on the wet? Oh no, they're at home. All right. San Francisco heading to Cincinnati to take on the Bengals.
Niners.
You know what? Give me the home team. Give me the Bengals. Feeling froggy.
The only reason I'm not all in on the Niners is they're coming east. That's way early for them. A 1 o'clock game in the East is, you know what I'm saying, a lot earlier than they're used to playing. But I don't like the Bengals at all. Give me the 49ers.
Alrighty. Minnesota at Green Bay.
Oh, Vikes.
The frozen tundra of Lambeau Field. Well, not yet. September. Yeah, I gotta take Minnesota on this one.
The soggy tundra of
Yes.
Lambeau Field. Yeah, give me the Vikings.
Next up, Indy at Tennessee. Ew. Yuck.
Even though it is you, I'm going to take Mariota and his all-star Titans versus Brissett and anybody.
I'm taking Tennessee because they're the home team.
If Mariota's going to step up, this is the game to do it. I'm not saying they're going to win, but if he wants to keep his job, he better step up. This is the game to do it. No, give me the Titans.
New England at Miami. Oh, we got our butt fuck of the week here, kids.
Oh, Jesus.
I'm not even... Come on. I'm just ready
not
New
even
England
responding.
for all of us. I mean,
Yeah, New England. It's just,
yes.
The only over under we should care about is how many players from New England visit how many strip clubs in Miami. That's all it is. It's the only over under we need to worry about.
Oh, I heard Bob Kraft can tell him about a good rub and tug down there.
Yeah.
Oh, I knew that was coming.
Oh, next
Actually, the over-under I care about is how many Miami people get on the wrong bus to try to go back to New England.
Right? No, I'm on this
Or-
bus.
Or how many retired at halftime.
Yeah.
Week 2 halftime, I'm still not traded. Fuck this shit.
I'm going to go work at a grocery store.
Worked for Kurt Warner.
All right, backing up the butt fuck of the week with the toilet bowl of the week. Buffalo at the Giants.
Really?
Which I like the shade Buffalo threw at the Jets and the Giants last week when they flew into the Meadowlands. They said the only team from New York has arrived in New Jersey.
Anybody got a coin? Fuck.
Do eeny, meeny, miny, mo, man. Pick one.
I'm doing it. Giants. They're at home.
I'm also picking the Giants because they've at least got Saquon and Evan Ingram, and the Bills have nothing.
Yeah, I'm counting on Barkley to run all over that defense, so give me the Giants.
Seattle at Pittsburgh.
Seattle.
You know what? They got beat at home. Seattle's coming east. Give me the Steelers.
Yeah, give me the Steelers.
What?
Out there on that island, Ice.
Okay.
Hey, but it's in Puget Sound, so it's nice. Dallas at Washington.
Dallas.
Yeah. I'm not even... Yeah.
Yeah, Dallas.
This ain't 1992. Give me the Cowboys. Arizona at Baltimore. Uh-oh. This could be a runner-up for buttfuck of the week.
Baltimore?
I'm going to make a guarantee. This one won't end in a tie.
Yeah, give me the Ravens.
Yeah. Ravens.
Jacksonville at Houston.
Texans.
Yeah, to me, there's nothing to think about here. Give me the Texans.
Yeah. Texans.
What? Come on, guys. You don't think Gardner Minshew is going to beat the fucking Houston Texans?
Alex Mago has been sent to the active roster, and they cut Cornell Armstrong. These are the moves you need to make to beat the Texans if you're the Jaguars.
Yeah.
Hey, by the way, I find this funny. Bettors and odds makers don't know what to make of Texans. So, when Vegas is like, oh, we don't fucking know. Flip a coin.
I got nothing.
Yeah.
Kansas City at Oakland.
Kansas City.
Yeah, I mean, is this really a Kansas City?
Yeah, this is. I hope you enjoyed your Monday night win. That was your Super Bowl. You overcame all the bullshit, the Hard Knocks bullshit, the Antonio Brown bullshit. Now the Chiefs are going to get neck deep in that ass. Mm-hmm. And by the way, I have to say, the most hilarious shit I saw on the NFL Network was they were talking about, so the Raiders come out strong on Monday Night Football in Game 1. If they could manage to beat the Chiefs. And I was like,
did you just
stop
start
right
laughing
there.
Maniacally?
Yes, I was like, stop right there. In what parallel universe, what string theory bullshit are you pulling out your ass that the Raiders are going to beat the Chiefs?
It ain't 1988. All right, Chicago at Denver.
Bears. Get an offense, god damn it.
You know what? Give me the home team. Give me Denver. Chicago's got to go west. That air's pretty thin. Taking the Broncos.
I'm gonna put you on an island, dude. I'm the Bears.
Cool. At least the island's in Denver. There's weed.
and legal shrooms.
Yes.
I've got to say this. Oh my god. Everybody is coming down on Odell Beckham Jr. for wearing a watch Sunday.
Yeah, like a $200,000 watch.
It was a $189,000 watch. He said he's going to keep on wearing it. And he's starting to feel singled out by the NFL. If it isn't one thing, it's another, he said.
Couldn't have waited 3 games to bring that up. Next up, shootout alert. New Orleans at the Rams.
That's true. Still taking the Rams, but this is going to be a shootout.
I like New Orleans' offense better than the Rams. Sorry. Give me the Saints.
Okay.
Enjoy that island out in L.A. I'm going with the Rams.
Oh,
hey,
shit.
There's weed there, too.
Shit.
Oh, wait, New Orleans? There's hurricanes made with Everclear. I'll be all right.
Totally forgot what happened last year.
Oh, yeah? It's a revenge game, son.
In many ways.
Philadelphia at Atlanta, the Sunday night game.
Eagles.
Oh, man. I want to say the Eagles, but I don't see the Falcons laying an egg 2 games in a row. Give me Atlanta.
I got to go with the Eagles.
All right, Monday night. Nobody asked for this game, but we're getting it. Cleveland at the Jets.
Browns?
Yep. Their team is better on paper than the Jets.
This would have been the time to bring up Odell and his $200,000 watch.
Yeah. But, we bring it up during the Denver game, because why not? Yeah, I'm picking the Browns. That offense is Cleveland's offense is better than New York's. Don't care if New York's at home. They got more pieces to work with than New York does. You know, I keep forgetting New York's got Bell. They still don't have anyone to throw to. Although they got Demaryius Thomas now. Yeah, but he hasn't been good since Peyton Manning was throwing to him. Give me the Browns.
I'll say this. I hesitate to call any Week 2 game a must-win game, but if Odell's already chirping about he's being singled out, he can't catch a break, for the sake of that locker room, they better win this fucking game. Or else, I mean, if it's been 1 week, you're walking around with fucking, you know, an upper middle class house on your wrist, basically painting a target on your wrist for anyone to stomp on. You know, there's your $200,000 watch now, bitch.
Hope you insured it. Yeah.
Yeah. You know, and I just, egos, young quarterback. If they don't win, it could get ugly in fucking Cleveland. I just got that feeling. So
well, I'll tell you this: if they don't win, but they've got to score more than 13 points.
You have to remember that there are no moral victories. They don't win. They don't get that check mark in the win column. I just can't imagine with the people that are on that team that the finger pointing and the back channel griping and bitching ain't going to start if it hasn't already. I mean, I saw a screenshot of Mayfield, and he looked absolutely defeated in game one at one point. He looked shell-shocked. I've seen people in combat pictures with that same fucking look. You know, and I'm not exaggerating.
But that's good, though, right? Don't you want your quarterback to take a loss hard instead of going, whatever, we'll get him next week? I'd rather take the guy that takes it hard than the latter.
That's why I was shocked that Stafford was yelling at the coaches on the sideline. I'm like, it took 11 years for him to reach down and realize that those things between his legs aren't clock weights. Those are balls.
Yeah, you got him on loan from his wife for Sunday. All right, so Michigan versus the bye.
The bye.
I'm taking the bye, yeah. After last week.
Give me 2 points, I take the bye.
Yeah. But Arizona State coming to East Lansing this year, facing number 18, Michigan State.
Not them. Anybody but them. Revenge game, maybe? State?
Absolutely. The thing that's different about this year is State isn't going out to Arizona. It's at their house. Arizona's got to come here. And State's probably pissed about last year, losing it at the last second. So give me State.
Yeah, no Big Ten team does well when they go to ASU. But they're not going to ASU. Give me State.
There they are, everybody. The picks for week number 2.
Is Herman still coaching them?
Herman? I think so. He was the coach last year. Why would he not be the coach this year? Well, because it's Arizona State.
All right. So, I'm directing this question at Earl. Any last thoughts?
So, when I was sitting on the toilet the other day, no, I have no more thoughts.
You looked in the mirror and fell in love. Yes, we know.
I did. Yes, I did.
Did you like that
Cheated
victory?
on my wife at that very moment.
Did you enjoy that victory, Rich? Josh Jacobs couldn't have ran for 3 less yards. Bitch.
That might have been why I was entertained by that game, because I was just like, okay, all right, just get a couple more yards, and it just by a cunt hair I won. I was like, this has never happened in fantasy football. I've been on the receiving end 4 or 5 times of a 0.2 loss, but never.
Trust me, this morning I was hoping for stat corrections. I'm like, come on, stat corrections, but nah. But you know what? You weren't my worst loss. Will Lutz, that motherfucker, put up enough points to take away enough points from Houston's defense to where I lost. I lost to you by 0.2. I lost to another person by 0.18.
in the last 4 seconds of the game.
Because of that field goal. He misses
on
that
a
field goal.
career-long 58-yard field goal.
I was like...
Well, here's the absolute bitch of it. If I'd have started Watkins, I'd have owned your ass last week.
Yeah, for sure.
I saw that shit, and I'm like, okay, I'm writing down every expert who said don't start him. You are on double secret probation from here on out. One more fuck up, I don't listen to you.
Hey, but...
Rich is going to be looking like the guy from our fucking Jay and Silent Bob going to their house. Are you Jim Holmes? Did you say, and I quote, "Do not start Watson"? Come here.
Now, I will say, don't. JR and I talked about this on the Fantasy Hack, available Wednesdays in the Sports You Feed. Don't bite on Sammy Watkins. He's going to get more volume because Tyreek Hill's injured, but I've owned that guy like the last 4 seasons. He is wildly inconsistent. He'll give you like 46 points like he did this Sunday, and then next week he'll give you 4.
I'm going to tell you the opposite. Start Sammy Watkins because Patrick Mahomes don't give a fuck who you are. He's throwing.
Well, for now, yes, because he's number 1. You know, Cheetah is out till further notice. So, yeah, Sammy Watkins. But as soon as Cheetah comes back, I'm telling you, don't believe the hype on Sammy Watkins.
I'm saying, first half of the season, start him.
If you want to, go ahead. Just saying. From experience. Don't get burned.
Other than Sammy Watkins,
I got burned so you don't.
Travis Kelce.
I got burned so you don't, Ice. All right?
Jesus died for your sins, and Chris got burned at fantasy football for your lesson.
Yes. Oh, but anyway, so let's wrap it up before we start talking about partying stories. Remember to check out the Fantasy Hack. It's on Wednesdays. Me and JR from the Beer Nuts podcast do it every week. We're going to do it during football season. Rich or Earl may join us one week. If Rich said he'd come on and tell you how to lose. I think Rich is better at fantasy football than he lets on. But so, check that out.
Never finished above 6 in a league of 10, and yeah, I'm better at it than I lead on. Okay.
Hey, you haven't finished last. You beat me last year. Jesus Christ. But we are on Twitter at SportsU Podcasts. Check us out, Spotify, Spreaker.com, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, ChristopherMedia.net. Anywhere you get podcasts, we are there. New shows on Thursdays, and we will see you next week.
All right, later, guys.
Peace out, y'all.
Thank you for visiting ChristopherMedia.net.
For the ones who know that a little late is always too late. And that the clock doesn't stop just because you're missing a part. Grainger offers supplies and solutions for every industry. And our Keep Stock inventory management solutions help ensure you have the right stuff in the right place at exactly the right time. Visit Grainger.com/keepstock to learn more. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
It's the divisional round, and you can follow all the action at BetOnline.net. On Saturday, LA visits the frozen tundra of Green Bay, while Baltimore and Buffalo face off with their electric third-year quarterbacks. On Sunday, and after winning their first playoff game in 26 years, Cleveland meets last year's champs. In the late game, 2 legendary future Hall of Fame QBs square off as Tampa visits the Big Easy. Check out all the action this week at BetOnline.net as teams take one step closer to the championship. Always available online or your mobile device. Visit BetOnline.net today. Bring the game home at BetOnline.net.
ChristopherMedia.net.
If you like this show, please tell a friend. Please make sure to rate and comment on all your favorite Christopher Media shows. Please follow us on Twitter and like and share us on Facebook. You can subscribe to all ChristopherMedia.net shows for free on ChristopherMedia.net. Thank you for listening, and thank you for visiting ChristopherMedia.net.
Thank you for visiting ChristopherMedia.net.